Chapter 1, God-Level Lottery System. In the evening, outside Konoha village, Uzumaki Chinhao sat on the Hokage rock and watched the setting sun quietly, not knowing what he was thinking. Suddenly, a beautiful electronically synthesized sound came into his ears. Ding! The God-Level Lottery System has successfully awakened. Ding! The God-Level Lottery System is successfully bound, the ultimate main task, to become the strongest ninja in the Naruto world. Ding! Fusion Chakra plus 250 points. Experience points plus 200 points. The strength is advanced to the next level. Maelstrom Chinhao was a little confused. He was originally an ordinary middle school student. He accidentally crossed into the Hokage world a year ago and became the adopted son of the fourth generation of Hokage wave Feng Shuman. For more than a year, Maelstrom Chinhao was often bullied by others because of his weak strength. He had been looking forward to the appearance of Golden Finger, but he was extremely disappointed every time. However, today he unintentionally awakened the system, making Maelstrom Chinhao feel extremely excited. With the Golden Finger, he can double the damage he has suffered before and return it back. And it is also very promising to cross the Naruto world. Maelstrom Chinhao was completely immersed in joy at this time, and all the suffocation in the past year was swept away. It was just that before he was happy for a while, trouble came to the door, and only 3 young men about his age but a bit fierce came quickly towards him. One of them said in a mocking tone, "Yeah, isn't this Uzumaki Chinhao, the son of our 4th generation of Naruto masters? Why are you alone here in a daze?" Ding! Hostility detected. Release the mission, teach the enemies who came to visit. The completion of the mission rewards E-level ninjutsu, clone. After hearing the mechanical system voice, Maelstrom Chinhao slowly stood up, then turned his head to look at the 3 teenagers who walked in front of him. "Hey, isn't this the Wildwood who always likes to kill me? What's wrong? I got angry in another place today, and want to teach me again." Maelstrom Chinhao said to the 3 of them with a smile. Now that Maelstrom Chinhao has been promoted to Xiaren, he doesn't have to worry about being bullied at all, and there is no problem in teaching these 3 teenagers with his current strength. "Boss, when did you become smarter? Knowing that we are here to teach you, come over and obediently give in, and then let us beat you out." A teenager with a larger physique turned his head and looked at himself. At this time the boss said with a smile. When Maelstrom Chinhao heard what the young man had just said, he smiled and thought in his heart, "Hey, you are really awesome. You used to be bullied by you when you were weak. Now I am not something you can bully at will. The strength has been promoted to the next level. It's time to show you some color. What are you doing stupidly? Come here. Do you have to let us go over and hit you?" One of the thinner teenagers said a little angrily at this time. "I don't want to go over now. To be honest, you 5 scumbags are really good. I'm worried that you will die in my hands if I use my full strength." Maelstrom Chinhao was very proud of them at this time. The current Maelstrom Chinhao is no longer what it used to be, and he will not let anyone bully himself. It is also very emboldened to say this. Ding! Post a hidden mission, trust the other party, reward 100 chakras for the completion of the mission. Helix Maru advances to the proficiency level. Is your kid stupid? Didn't you know your strength? Didn't see you for a few days really thought you were very powerful? Or did you forget how we were bullied? Furthermore, if it wasn't for you to be the son of the 4th generation of Naruto, I would have killed you. A few days later, you will have the test of ninja. If you are not promoted to the next, your 4th generation Naruto dad can't protect you." Yemyu said ironically to Maelstrom Chinhao at this time. "You, go and beat him up." Yemyu said to the huge teenager next to him, feeling like he was ordering his own puppy. The huge teenager nodded when he heard what his boss said, and then obediently walked towards the whirlpool Chinhao. Unexpectedly, it's really obedient like a dog. No, it should be a dog. A very obedient dog raised by Yemyu. Maelstrom Chinhao doesn't have to worry about defeating them now. What are you talking about? The kid's mouth should be clean. The huge teenager became even more angry when he heard Maelstrom Jinhao scold him, and then said loudly. Chapter 2, Provocation. After hearing the prompt sound from the system in his mind, the corners of his mouth slightly rose to look at the huge teenager in front of him. Pooh! The hugely physique boy didn't expect that Maelstrom Jinhao would spit on his face. Damn, really awesome, it seems it's time to teach you a lesson. Otherwise you really don't know who you are. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully picking the letter, experience value plus 100 points, 567/1000. You can be promoted to Zongnan when you reach 1000 points. Helix Maru is promoted to the proficiency level. Peng peng peng. Ding, ability to resist plus 1. Ding, experience value plus 1. In just 2 seconds, Vortex Jinhao had fisted against him several times, but when the huge teenager was about to take a punch, Vortex Jinhao suddenly laughed. Is this the body that has just strengthened the ability to resist? It really is very powerful. The few fists just now didn't happen at all. Maelstrom Jinhao thought with a smile at this moment. Ding, there are still 5 minutes to complete the task, please complete the task immediately. After seeing the smile of Wuxi Jinhao, the huge teenager burst into anger in his heart, and then slammed a punch. But what he didn't expect was that Maelstrom Jinhao quickly stretched out his hand, blocked the punch he shook, and squeezed his fist fiercely. What? How is this possible? Sorry, blocked your fist. Enjoy my previous treatment for the rest of the time. Maelstrom Jinhao said with a smile while looking at the huge young man. Ding, the host successfully installed B, strength plus 10. After the huge physical teenager realized that he was in a very dangerous situation, he wanted to take his fist back, but no matter how hard he tried, it was useless. Now he started to panic. Spiral pill. A blue ball appeared in Wuxi Jinhao's free palm for an instant, and then hit his stomach. Pang! Maelstrom Jinhao let go of his hand, and then he was blasted away by Helix Maru. Since his current Helix Maru has not been consolidated after being promoted, there is no need to worry about his life. But even in this case, you have to rest for a few days. What? How could it be? Their boss was very surprised when he saw that his subordinate was beaten up, and then he clenched his fist and wanted to rush to beat Maelstrom Jinhao. I rely on. Before Yemyu could react, he was punched by the Whirlpool Jinhao, who came in front of him instantly, lying on the ground, and began to beat him frantically. Because the speed of Wuxi Jinhao was very fast, the two of them only saw the afterimage of Wuxi Jinhao. You remember to me, I will definitely become stronger, and sooner or later I will return all the damage you caused to me. Today is an example. Maelstrom Jinhao said loudly while beating Yemyu. The remaining person was completely stunned after seeing the scene of his boss being violently beaten, and couldn't believe that this was the original Maelstrom Jinhao who was bullied by them every day. A minute later, he slowly came over, and then quickly pulled away the Whirlpool Jinhao. Chapter 3, Clone. What are you doing here? You are not happy. When Yemyu was halfway through his words, he saw the expression in the eyes of Wuxi Jinhao. At this time, Wuxi Jinhao's eyes showed a beast-like ferocity, as if he wanted to eat him. This look directly frightened their boss. Hurry up and help me get out of here, this kid is not right today, it may be possessed by the demon. Let's retreat first, and then we will have the opportunity to teach him. The young man who had just been beaten by Maelstrom Jinhao to the ground quickly stood up, and then pulled his two little brothers and quickly left here. Damn it, you wait for Uzumaki Jinhao, I will definitely kill you in the future. Yemyu glanced back when he hurriedly ran away, and thought very angry in his heart. Ding, the host has completed the task, and the ninjutsu clone has been sent. Ding, the fusion of ninjutsu avatars has been completed, and the level in front, normal level. Unexpectedly, my hard days have finally come to an end. From now on I will no longer be the tail of the crane, and I will never be bullied by anyone. But now my strength is far from enough. Maelstrom Chenhao looked at them. After the three ran away in a hurry, they said with a smile. Ding, the host's self-confidence is restored, and the experience value is +10. At this moment, the Whirlpool Chenhao heard the mechanical beep from the system, then smiled and patted the dust on his body, and walked back home slowly. Whirlpool Chenhao's home. It's really incredible now that I think about it. It feels like a dream. I have to seize the time to practice hard and try to consolidate my strength before the ninja exam. I now have this God-level lottery system. I will soon you can reach the pinnacle of life. Maelstrom Chenhao said with a smile when he returned home. Due to the God-level lottery system, this young man named Maelstrom Chenhao has restored his previous fighting spirit and confidence. Chapter 3. After returning home, Whirlpool Chenhao sat in the yard and looked at the sky, and then heard the system prompt. It's just that there are mixed feelings in my heart, and I don't know whether this God-level lottery system is a blessing or a curse. View the Properties panel. Ding, the Properties panel is open. Name, Wuxi Chenhao. Age, 10 years old. Strength, Ninja. Experience value, 604/1000. Talent, 19,999. Physical strength, 50/100. Spiritual power, 358/500. Chakra, 758. Ninja strength +1 per second. Belong to, Bo Feng Shuman adopted son. Chakra attributes, fire, wind, thunder. Ninjutsu, avatar, normal level, level 1/5th full level, instantaneous, first level/5th full level, helix pill, proficient level/reaching Zongnan can be upgraded to Dea helix pill. Maelstrom Chenhao looked at all of his information and felt very surprised for an instant, and then said, I didn't expect that in just one day, my strength would reach Xiaren. If this continues, it is only a matter of time to complete the ultimate mission. Now it seems that there is no problem at all for the Shinin exam. From now on, I finally don't have to be the tail of a crane, and those who bully me will have to pay the price. Maelstrom Chenhao is not the same Maelstrom Chenhao anymore. Maelstrom Chenhao exclaimed excitedly. Yelled. Chapter 4, Visitor. In the early morning of the next morning, Wuxi Chenhao got up early. Today he was a little different from usual. You can see from his appearance that he was very happy today with a smile on his face. And the temperament of the whole person is different, maybe this is due to the fusion of chakra last night. Ding, the host is irradiated by the sun, and his health is +1. Suddenly, Uzumaki Chenhao clenched his fist, and for an instant, a large chakra spewed out and penetrated his entire body. Is this my current strength? It's really incredible. My helix pill has also been upgraded to the proficiency level. There is nothing in the Naruto world that can make people feel more emotional than this, but at this time someone came to the door, and it seems that it is not the person that Wei Chenhao is looking forward to. Ding, hostility detected. Task, defeat the person who came to visit, defeat him and get 1,000 gold coins and a chance to draw. When Maelstrom Chenhao heard the voice in his mind, he let go of his fist, and then looked at the door of his house with a smile, waiting for the enemy to come in. Pang! The door of the Whirlpool Chenhao's house was suddenly kicked, and the kicked door slammed on the big tree in the yard of the Whirlpool Chenhao's house, and a lot of dust was splashed. Tsaizi, we have to change doors again. But this time is different from the original. Today you have suffered a lot. Maelstrom Chenhao has become accustomed to seeing such scenes, and he is not so fussy. Hey, I didn't expect you, a coward, to wake up so early. I thought I would come to wake you up. The young man who entered the door said with a sarcasm after seeing Uzumaki Chenhao. What are you doing here? After hearing what the person said, Mason Chenhao said calmly without being angry. I was always bullied before, and it seems that this time I have to teach this person who came to visit. At this time, the whirlpool Chinhao is different from the original one. Last night, he planned that he would not be bullied by others in the future, so today he took this uninvited guest Zhongjing Yulong and took the knife. Hey, what are you doing? Of course I came to beat you. I was out of anger when I came home yesterday, and I was scolded at home yesterday. I felt very uncomfortable. How do I have an opinion? Jing Yulong heard the whirlpool Chinhao just say after that, there was no angrily said. Being bullied by you before and not fighting back does not mean that I am weak, nor does it mean that I am afraid of you. But if you look to me again and again, then I can't bear it, or you will only get worse. Remember. From now on, I will no longer be the coward who can be slaughtered by others. Wuxi Chinhao said loudly to Shanjing Yulong at this moment. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully installing B, experience value plus 10. After Shanjing Yulong heard what he had just said, he didn't react for a while and he didn't expect that Wuxi Chinhao would say such a thing today. Did you kid take the wrong medicine? Or you were stupefied by me? Then let me see what big waves a waist can make. Jing Yulong paused for a few seconds before saying with a smile. Whirlpool Chinhao just walked a few steps forward at this time, and he heard the system say in his mind, Ding, movement speed plus 10, strength plus 10. The corner of Wuxi Chinhao's mouth raised, and he disappeared in place. Chapter 5, I Believe You Ghost. Pang! With the blink of an eye, Wuxi Chinhao came to the front of Shanjing Yulong and punched his chin. Due to the fast speed of Wuxi Chinhao, Shanjing Yulong did not see himself clearly. How was it attacked? Ding! The host caused a certain amount of damage to the opponent, power plus 1. After Shanjing Yulong was punched heavily by Wuxi Chinhao, the whole person turned back and then fell to the ground fiercely. Damn it, what the is going on? Yesterday, I heard the boss say that his strength is not so strong. How come I am not his opponent anymore in one night? At this time, Shanjing Yulong quickly stood up, then looked at the whirlpool in front of him. Chen Hao cursed in his heart. Neither of them gave each other a chance to breathe, and rushed directly towards each other. In just 2 seconds, the two of them collided again. Pang! The two bounced away again at this time, but at this time, Shanjing Yulong's legs had begun to shake slowly, and he suffered a lot of damage just now. Ding! Hit resistance plus 1, speed plus 1, leg strength plus 1. After Whirlpool Chinhao heard the voice in his mind, the corners of his mouth gradually rose. He didn't expect that with a few simple tricks, his physical fitness could increase so much. It seems that today I must make you suffer a bit, bullying me before, now I want you to taste the feeling of being bullied. After speaking, Wuxi Chinhao rushed in front of him once again, and sent a left uppercut fiercely, and immediately knocked out one of the teeth of Yulong Mountain, and instantly spit out a mouthful of blood. Shanjing Yulong was punched and flew out by Wuxi Chinhao, but at the moment when he flew out, Wuxi Chinhao grabbed his ankle again and fell to the ground fiercely. Tell you, don't come to me in the future, or you will look good. What have been done to me in the past, I will slowly return it to you in the future. At the moment when Shanjing Yulong fell to the ground, Wuxi Chinhao immediately sat on him, and his fists like raindrops fell on him. Ding! Strength plus 1. Ding! Strength plus 1. Every time Maelstrom Chinhao shook his fist, the system would give a reminder, and meanwhile Maelstrom Chinhao's strength gradually increased. In just a few seconds, Shanjing Yulong had been beaten with a bruised nose and swollen face. If his mother saw this, she might not recognize this as her child. When Wuxi Chinhao punched the Mountain View Yulong, his smile slowly emerged, and he was very happy now. Since coming to Hokage world, he has been bullied by this group of people every day. Who can suffer from such a day? Sorry, forgive me, I will never bully you again. Jing Yulong said loudly while using his arm to resist the attack of Maelstrom Chinhao. Ding! The host successfully intimidated the opponent, deterrence plus 2. After hearing what Shanjing Yulong had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao didn't mean to stop, instead he used more and more force. I really know that I was wrong, and I will not dare any more in the future. I swear that if I violate my order, I will not die. Jing Yulong poisoned when he saw that Wuxi Chenhao did not intend to stop oath, he was very reluctant to see it. Shan Jing Yulong can be driven crazy by Maelstrom Chenhao this time. How could he be so embarrassed if this were placed in the past? What the is going on, how can I become so strong? I will definitely make you look good when I go out. I will definitely double the pain you gave me today and return it back. The dragon has gone completely crazy. Humph, I believe you a ghost. I used to believe that you really didn't know if I was stupid, but I can see you clearly. Now I must be thinking about how to avenge me after going out. Humph, today I must give you a little color and take a look. What kind of person Shan Jing Yulong is? Maelstrom Chenhao knew in his heart that he had been bullied by him every time before, so now he must seize this opportunity. No. No, don't worry, I don't think I think that way. Shan Jing Yulong's face was already confused at this time, and even so, he shook his head desperately. Damn it, how smart he has become. No, I have to hurry and escape here, otherwise my life will not be saved. After I go out, I must let the boss come to protect me. Although Jing Yulong he said that, but he thought it was completely different from what he said. At this time, the power of Wuxi Chenhao had already used his full strength, and under his raining fist, Shan Jing Yulong would soon be unable to withstand it. Chapter 6, finished. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully defeating Shan Jing Yulong. Reward 1000 gold coins and a chance to draw. After hearing what the system had just said, the corners of his mouth rose a little. At this moment, the whirlpool Chenhao slowly stopped. He also didn't want to die. When Shan Jing Yulong felt that Wuxi Chenhao was not attacking him, he exhausted his last bit of strength and quickly withdrew back. Wait for me, I will definitely find your revenge. You can't kneel down and beg for mercy at that time. Shan Jing Yulong held his arm at this moment, and then looked viciously at Maelstrom Chenhao. I thought. Unexpectedly, after a fight, his experience value increased so much, and his physical strength, have increased a lot. After Wuxi Chenhao stood up, he looked at the mountain view Yulong in front of him. Thought with a smile. After the battle just now, Maelstrom Chenhao is very happy now, he has never been so happy as today. During the year when he traveled to Hokage, Maelstrom Chenhao was bullied every day, and suffered severe injuries every time. This time he finally took revenge. But the person who bullied him was far more than the one named Jing Yulong. The 3 people he beaten the day before yesterday were among them, and they were also the eldest brothers of Yulong Mountain. I didn't expect it to feel so good to bully people. How about you always like to bully me? Maori Chenhao said with a smile while looking at the mountain view Yulong. Shan Jing Yulong knew that if he was talking about something hard, he might really not be able to get out of this door, so he shook his head desperately, although the blood on his head was flying around, but it was important for him to save his life now. Looking at how embarrassed you are, I am very happy. It's time to change the dynasty. You have bullied me long enough. From now on I will not be the whirlpool Chenhao who is being bullied by you. Hao looked at the mountain view Yulong who was shaking his head desperately and said with a smile. At this moment, Shan Jing Yulong couldn't say anything. He just nodded desperately. At this time, he wanted to escape here quickly. Okay, I'll just believe you once, let's go. There are still many opportunities for us to fight against each other in the future, so don't worry, I will not only hit you this time in the future. After speaking, the whirlpool Chenhao disappeared in the same place, and instantly appeared in front of Shan Jing Yulong. At this time, the eyes of Shan Jing Yulong were already very wide. Pang! When Wuxi Chenhao came to the front of Shan Jing Yulong, he punched him in the stomach. How could the strength of Shan Jing Yulong take his punch? Flew out in an instant. I have to clean up the house in a while, it's really annoying. Maelstrom Chenhao patted his palm, then said with a wry smile looking at the ill-formed yard. Shanjing Yulong was already vomiting blood after being punched by the Whirlpool Chenhao, but Xin Whirlpool Chenhao didn't use all his strength, otherwise he would have been unconscious now. Whirlpool Chenhao walked to the side of Yulong Mountain View, lifted him up suddenly, and walked towards his door step by step. If it turns out that the strength of Maelstrom Chenhao was not so great, it would be thanks to the system that he could have such a great strength. What? After arriving at the door of the house, Wuxi Chenhao threw the Mountain View Yulong that he was holding onto the ground, and gave a very painful cry. Remember, I will no longer be the same me in the future. If you are not convinced in the future, even if you come to me, I will accompany you to the end. By the way, after I go back, I will tell your boss and I will not be bullied, as long as I bully him. Maelstrom Chenhao said loudly while looking at the dying Mountain View on the ground. Then, turned around and walked into his own home. You wait for me. I must make you pay the cruel price. The Mountain View Yulong lying on the ground looked at the back of Wuxi Chenhao and said very angry. Big brother, what's the matter with you? At this moment, the younger brother of Shanjing Yulong saw the Shanjing Yulong who had just been thrown by the Whirlpool Chenhao, and then quickly came to him and carried him away. Chapter 7, Four-Generation Couple. After returning home, Maelstrom Chenhao had cleared the traces of the battle as quickly as possible, so as not to be seen by others in a while. It's really cool. I must become stronger in the future. No one can bully me, my family, and the people I want to protect. After Mason Chenhao finished cleaning up the house, he looked at the sky and smiled. Said, I have to say that if you don't have the strength in this world, you can't survive at all, and if you don't be ruthless, you will have to be slaughtered. Maelstrom Chenhao sighed at this moment, and then called out his attribute panel. Name, Wuxi Chenhao. Age, 10 years old. Strength, Ninja. Experience value, 570/1000. Talent, 19,999. Physical strength, 50/100. Spiritual power, 358/500. Chakra, 1253. Belong to, Bo Feng Shaman adopted son. Chakra attributes, fire, wind, thunder. Ninjutsu, avatar, level 2/5 full level, instantaneous, level 1/5 full level, helix pill, proficient level /reaching Zongnin can be upgraded to Deo helix pill. I didn't expect my talent to be so high, and my mental power is so high. It's just that the experience value is so low. If you want to reach Zongren, you need so much experience value. Maelstrom Chenhao said with a light frown looking at his attribute panel. The middle ninja is 1000, the upper ninja is 5000, the shadow level is 10,000, the super shadow level has reached 10,000 points, the experience value reaches a certain number to break through to the next level. If this is 6 levels, it must not cost 100 million experience points. I feel terrible after thinking about it. It's really sad. Maelstrom Chenhao said in surprise as he watched the introduction of experience points. Forget it, don't think about it, let's draw a lottery first. Ding, the lottery page is open. Suddenly, a huge roulette appeared in Uzumaki Chenhao's mind, with all the rewards on it, which can be described as everything in the anime. But 10% of the above are thank you for your patronage. Unexpectedly, there are so many things. Okay, let's draw a lottery, and see what can be drawn. I hope you won't be drawn, thank you for your patronage. After a brief look at the above things, Mason Chenhao whispered muttered. Swipe, brush. The huge lottery wheel slowly stopped after spinning for a few seconds. At this time, the Whirlpool Chenhao had already turned over in his heart. In the end, the arrow on the top of the roulette wheel points to the one that thank you for your patronage. Damn, no, I trademark memorized so much today, I took the middle road for the first time, Thank you for your patronage, my 1000 gold coins. Maelstrom Chenhao saw the pointer stop on the grid, thank you for patronage, and imagined for a moment shattered. The whole person is depressed. I knew that this system was not reliable. Hey, who made me unlucky today? Maelstrom Chenhao didn't complain at this time, and went straight back to the real world. It was almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and when he got up in the morning, Maelstrom Chenhao began to fight Shanjing Yulong. The whole person is now hungry. Forget it, let's eat first, I'm going to starve to death. You can't starve yourself if you miss it. Ding, the host starts to eat, experience value +1. 20 minutes later, 2 people hurriedly arrived at the home of Wuxi Chenhao. These 2 people were Wu Fengshimen and Wu Zhenei, Wuxi Chenhao's adoptive father and mother. Kushina, you slow down, now you are pregnant. Don't have anything to do. Bo Fengshimen said to her softly while supporting Uzumaki Kushina. After hearing what her husband said, Uzumaki Kushina nodded with a smile. Someone is coming again, it's really annoying. Wuxi Chenhao heard movement in his yard just after eating, and then walked out slowly. Uncle Watergate, Aunt Juxina. After coming out, he saw that the person who came was his adoptive father and adoptive mother, and then hurriedly came to the side of Uzumaki Juxina to support her. Chapter 8, Fight Again. Immediately afterwards, the 3 of them walked into the room and got onto the sofa. Uncle Watergate, why did Aunt Juxina come here? Uzumaki Chenhao poured 2 glasses of water to them at this moment and said. It's not for you. This morning, the neighbor ran to the house and said that you were fighting again at home. We were worried that you would rush over right away. After Bo Fengshimen heard what the whirlpool had just said with a smile. Yet, the body got better after the fight last time, and today I was fighting again. After a few sips of water, Uzumaki Juxina said, looking at Uzumaki Chenhao. I'm really sorry, I really didn't expect you to know about my fight so soon. I really didn't blame me today, and Shanjing Yulong came to look for me. I didn't want to hold his breath, and then just slap him hit it. After hearing what the 2 of them had just said, Vortex Chenhao scratched his head and said with a smile. I have to say that the 2 of them love Maelstrom Chenhao very much, and they have treated him as their own son since they adopted him. They also didn't dislike him because of Maelstrom Chenhao's strength. The 2 of them looked at each other after hearing what Wuxi Chenhao had just said. They felt very unbelievable. They knew the strength of this son best in their hearts. How could they have beaten others to nothing at all? Quickly, let Auntie see if there is anything wrong, is there any injury? Uzumaki Juxina said to Uzumaki Chenhao at this moment, feeling very incredible. After speaking, Uzumaki Juxina pulled Uzumaki Chenhao in front of him, and then carefully checked his body to see if he was injured. Now that Maelstrom Chenhao has started to walk the path of the strong, how could he be beaten and injured by a child? Fortunately, there was no injury. But I was terrified. Uzumaki Chenhao carefully inspected the body of Uzumaki Chenhao and found that he was not injured at all, then he breathed out and said quietly. It's okay, Aunt Juxina, I told you everything. Nothing. Don't worry about me anymore. I have grown up, and my strength has gradually started to become stronger. I believe that in the near future, it will definitely become very powerful. Maelstrom Chenhao said with a very firm smile at this moment. Ding, the host makes his mother feel at ease, experience +1, sister coaxing skills +2. Okay, the child is fine. It can be seen that Chenhao has begun to gradually become stronger. His current strength should be much stronger than before. It seems that he has not worked less during this period of time. Our child is finally getting stronger. At this moment, Bo Feng Watergate gently patted Uzumaki Kushina on the shoulder, and then said to Uzumaki Chenhao with a smile. After hearing what Bo Fengshimen had just said, the whirlpool Chenhao nodded with a smile, and then sat opposite the 2 of them. Okay, if there is nothing to do, then we will go back first. If we have time tonight, we will come home. Aunt Niu Zine will have a baby in a few days. Bo Feng Shui Men and the two of them stood up after talking to Maelstrom Chenhao for a while, and then said to Maelstrom Chenhao with a smile. Really? Aunt Juxina, congratulations, you will definitely go tonight, don't worry. After hearing what Bo Feng Shui Men just said, Mason Chenhao said with a smile on his face nodded, then said. Chapter 9, Kill the Mat 3. After hearing what Uzumaki Chenhao had just said, Bo Feng Watergate and Uzumaki Juxina nodded with a smile, and then the two of them greeted Uzumaki Chenhao and left here. A few days later, calculated according to the time, it should be after the ninja test. Now I don't know if I can change the reality. If I can, I really don't want them to die in Kuabai. In my hand. At this moment, Mason Chenhao was standing in front of his house, looking at the backs of the couple, and then thinking silently in his heart. As they said, a few days later is the day when Naruto Uzumaki was born, the protagonist in the original book. That is, on that day, the mysterious masked man Kuabai was completely released, and Kuabai was about to attack Konoha village tonight. At the same time, 4 generations of the couple died at the hands of Kuabai that day. Forget it, don't think about it. If this is true, then I really can't change anything. I haven't been out shopping for several days, so let's go out and take a look. Everything at home I'm almost done eating, buy something by the way. Maybe in a few days, I will live with Xiao Naruto. Whirlpool Chenhao thought silently when he watched the passers-by walking back and forth on the street. With that, Whirlpool Chenhao walked from the courtyard to the street. At this moment, he saw a lot of people walking around on the street. It's been a long time since I came out in the morning. I didn't expect it to be the same as at night, very prosperous. Wuxi Chenhao said with a smile while looking at the pedestrians on the street. Hey, isn't this the little Hao who was often bullied by us? It seems to be yes, his aunt always calls him that, and it feels like he is very, very young, ha ha ha. At this moment, behind the Whirlpool Chenhao suddenly sounded several people talking. Listening to their tone, you can know that they are laughing at Whirlpool Chenhao. When Maelstrom Chenhao heard someone behind him say bad things, he slowly turned his head, and then saw that they were 3 little kids. And they all have non-mainstream heads that kill Matt, looking very naive. I didn't expect a lot of troubles today. There are a few more people who are not afraid of death. If you don't give you some color, look at me, I'm really bullying. Maelstrom Chenhao heard it at this time, but was familiar with it. The sound of it. Ding, check the host's enemy to find something. Release the mission, don't use ninjutsu to hit them into doubting life. Completing the mission rewards 1000 gold coins and an orange weapon. Orange weapons are the most inferior, but they are several times better than shurikens. Weapons can be roughly divided from weak to strong, orange, white, gold, silver, red, and black. After hearing the content of the mission, Maelstrom Chenhao smiled slightly, and then said to the 3 little ghosts, listen to me 3 of you. From now on, I can't be bullied by you anymore. Only I can bully you. If you know each other, then become my little brother. I will surely let you eat and drink spicy food. I guarantee that you will be surging in the village of Konoha. The 3 children didn't respond after hearing what Mao Chenhao had just said. They thought they had heard it wrong. But after 3 or 4 seconds, they laughed heartily. They had no idea that this person who had been bullied for more than a year could say such a thing, and still in their own presence. Chapter 10, Unfortunately, no endurance. Ding, the host successfully installed B. Experience points plus 87. After hearing the system prompt, Maelstrom Chenhao raised the corner of his mouth slightly, then leaked a firm look at the 3 little ghosts in front of him. I have been bullied by you for several years. It's time to change the dynasty. Don't worry, I will treat you well. Try to act lightly. Maelstrom Chenhao said immediately after feeling that his experience value has increased wildly. The three little ghosts were almost dying from laughing at this moment, and all laughed and turned over. They didn't expect that this Wanyan crane could say such a thing. "You're a real cow, have you forgotten how badly we were bullied before? It seems that after a long time, you are really self-righteous. It's time to teach you a lesson, so that you can remember." 3 Muliamu, headed by the young man, said loudly to Maelstrom Chinhao at this moment. After hearing what Muliamu had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao smiled and waved to him, motioning for him to attack him. Maelstrom Chinhao became more confident at this time. It turned out that the reason for being bullied by the three of them was that the three of them went together. They were all the same in strength. After all, one hit three suffered a loss. And at that time, Maelstrom Chinhao was a very weak person, but now it is different. "Hey, it seems that your kid is itchy. Cure, let's get on the throttle together," Muliamu said to his subordinate at this moment. Then the three of them attacked Maelstrom Chinhao together. When the whirlpool Chinhao saw the three of them attacking his side, the corners of his mouth rose, and then he touched his back, wanting to fight with Qiwu. "I'm CAO, I'm anxious to go out, but I didn't bring a ninja bag. Rely on it, what should I do now? The most unfortunate thing is that you can't use ninjutsu, do you need to use your fists?" The smile on the corner of his mouth was gone, and he looked a little flustered. "What's wrong, are you scared? It's a pity that it's too late." Muliamu was already a little panicked when he saw Maelstrom Chinhao at this time, and said to him triumphantly. Maelstrom Chinhao now realized that he had no way to escape, so he searched for what could be used as a weapon as much as possible. "That's the only way, nothing else is right for you. I hope the system can give you some power." When Wuxi Chinhao saw that the three of them were still a little away from him, he saw a lot of small stones on the ground. What's the use of Maelstrom Chinhao now? If he didn't use these stones, he would really punch and kick the three of them, and he might not be able to beat them. After all, I just got stronger and haven't gotten used to it. Huo Chinhao bent over, picked up a dozen stones in an instant, and attacked the three of them with the stones in his hands while evacuating back. The stones shuttled through the gap between the three of them one by one. Even if they didn't hit them, Maelstrom Chinhao did not give up. Ding! Throwing ability +1, accuracy +1, strength progress, 1/10, 1/10. It seems that there is no mistake in guessing, and they will see it now. At this time, the whirlpool Chinhao had relaxed a little. Obviously, the whirlpool Chinhao's own thoughts were not wrong, so he continued to persevere, and his throwing ability could reach the proficiency level soon. "Damn, you two separate and attack him from 3 directions. I don't believe that he can take care of 3 directions at once," Muliamu said to the other 2 people while resisting Maelstrom Chinhao's stone attack. Chapter 11, I have a lot of grudges. Humph, do you really think you can knock me down by separately attacking me? It's really naive. I used to be bullied by you often, and then it's time for me to bully you. Today you will definitely not be able to eat going around," Maelstrom Chinhao whispered when he saw the 3 of them attacking him separately. At this time, the stones in Wuxi Chinhao's hand were almost finished attacking. At this moment, he quickly bent down, picked up a few larger stones, and quickly attacked the 3 of them. Whizzing! After the stone was released from the hands of the whirlpool Chinhao, he quickly flew towards the 3 enemies. At this time, one of the stones hit Muliamu's eyes, and at this moment it screamed in pain. "Ah! Damn, my eyes!" Maelstrom Chinhao was very happy when he saw his stones hit Muliamu, and then quickly ran towards him. It only took 2 seconds to reach Muliamu's front. At this moment, Maelstrom Chinhao picked up Muliamu's neckline. "Boy, it's time for you to suffer a little bit, or I will be bullied by you in the future," Maelstrom Chinhao said loudly to Muliamu by the collar. Whirlpool Chinhao took advantage of the time when the other 2 people hadn't come here. He quickly fell the wooden flow plank to the ground, then rode on him, attacking him vigorously with his fists. Since Mu Liamo's eyes were just attacked by colored glaze with stones, his vision is completely blurred and he can't see what's in front of him at all, so now he can only use his arms to block his head and not let himself. The head was attacked. Boom boom. In just 2 or 3 seconds, Wuxi Chenhao had left many marks on Mu Liamo's body. Maelstrom Chenhao didn't retain his strength at all when dealing with them. He didn't need to worry at all, because these few of them were professionally trained, and would not kill them with just a few punches. In a short period of time, Maelstrom Chenhao had beaten Mu Liamo to a bruise and swollen face. At this time, the other 2 people quickly came to their boss's side and dragged Maelstrom Chenhao to the side. Damn, what are you 2 doing in a daze? Why don't you go over and beat him up, oh my face? Mu Liamo touched his already swollen face with his hand at this moment, and then loudly confronted the 2 next to him. Personally reprimanded. The 2 people standing next to Mu Liamo, after hearing what their boss had just said, immediately ran to the Whirlpool Chenhao's side, just as obedient as his domestic puppies. In the final analysis, Mu Liamo's family is more powerful and richer, or else he wouldn't have such a devoted little brother. Forget it, it's better to clean up together with the 2 of you, lest there will be trouble for a while. Maelstrom Chenhao smiled loudly when he saw them attacking him again. Said. The current Maelstrom Chenhao was not the original Maelstrom Chenhao who had been bullied by them. At this moment, Maelstrom Chenhao disappeared in the same place and appeared behind the 2 of them. Remember that you 2 have bullied me before, but now you can pay it back. Maelstrom Chenhao said coldly to them when he appeared behind them. After speaking, Maelstrom Chenhao clenched his fist and punched each of them. I have to say that Maelstrom Chenhao is really a very vengeful person. This punch took 70% of his strength. Chapter 12, Go for Ramen. Puff. After the 2 of them received a punch from Maelstrom Chenhao, they couldn't stand it anymore and vomited blood on the ground. Mu Liamo's eyes widened when he saw that all of his 2 subordinates were knocked down by Maelstrom Chenhao. He did not believe that this person was actually Maelstrom Chenhao who was bullied by them every day. How is this possible? Mu Liamo watched as his men were knocked down one by one. He couldn't do anything at all, so he could only stay in place and watch. He had no idea that this person who was usually bullied by them every day would now be able to kill them easily. What is impossible? I used to be bullied by you every day. It's time to change the dynasty. And I want to tell you that I will no longer be bullied by anyone in the future, only I can bully you. Maelstrom Chenhao at this moment, he came to Mu Liamo's face, squatted in front of him and said with a smile. After Mu Liamo heard what Wuxi Chenhao had just said, he didn't do anything, but now his eyes kept trembling. Now even if his family is strong, he dare not say anything, for fear that he would be violently beaten by Maelstrom Chenhao again. After seeing Mu Liamo saying nothing, Maelstrom Chenhao slowly stood up, stretched his waist, and said with a smile on his face. Okay, I don't want to waste time with you anymore. I will immediately disappear from my eyes now, otherwise I really can't guarantee that I won't hurt you. At this moment, Mason Chenhao lowered his head and looked at himself. Mu Liamo in front then said fiercely. After hearing what the Whirlpool Chenhao had just said, the 2 younger brothers of Mu Liamo immediately crawled from the ground to Mu Liamo's side, and set him up to leave here. I have to say that there are still some benefits to being behind a person with family power. It seems that ordinary Mu Liamo has strengthened the physique of the 2 of them. If Mu Liamo did not benefit the 2 of them, they would not follow him so desperately. If they did not benefit them, they had just received a punch from Maelstrom Chenhao and now they are probably lying in the ward for half a month. Up. When Mu Liamo was dragged out of here by his little brother, he still stared at Maelstrom Chenhao, obviously he was very unwilling. But now there is no way, who makes Maelstrom Chenhao stronger than him? Whirlpool Chenhao looked at the 3 Mu Liamo, who were slowly disappearing into his field of vision, and thought to himself. It seems that after experiencing this time, I am going to forge an unforgivable beam with him. I still understand his family power very well. I am afraid that someone will often come to trouble me when I go back this time. But even so, what can I do? What? Anyway, now I have a system. I'm afraid you won't make it. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reaching the proficiency level. 1000 gold coins and orange weapons have been sent to your account, please check in time. After hearing the mechanical sound of the system, Maelstrom Chinhao smiled silently, then patted the dust on his body and walked slowly into the market. I didn't expect that my throwing ability has reached the proficiency level. Now if I work hard, I should soon be able to hit 100 shots and hit where? Maelstrom Chinhao thought silently while walking on the road. Today is hard enough. Let's go to eat a bowl of ramen to reward yourself. If you want to eat ramen, you must get the aisle ramen. There are still many things to do in the next few days, the biggest of which the thing is the invasion of the Nine Tails, and now I really have to think about it. What should I do then? Whirlpool Chinhao thought about it, and walked towards Ilk Ramen with a smile on his face. Chapter 13, Il Ramen 1. Unknowingly, it was almost noon. Time really flies. Let's have ramen for lunch today, and go to Uncle Mizuman's house for dinner in the evening. It's been a long time since I had Auntie Kushina's cooking. The food is finished, I miss it a little now. Whilst speaking, Uzumaki Chinhao was about to reach the door of Il Ramen. I have to say that there are many places to eat in Konoha village, but if you want to eat ramen, you have to go to Il Ramen. The ramen there is really amazing. In the past, the protagonist in Naruto world was the upcoming Uzumaki Naruto. He likes Il Ramen very much. Il Ramen is finally here. Let's have a bowl of pork bones and char siu ramen today. Uzumaki Chinhao said with a smile standing in front of the Il Ramen shop. Boss, I want a bowl of pork bone char siu ramen, thank you. Maelstrom Chinhao walked into the shop and said to the middle-aged boss inside. It turned out to be Xiao Chinhao, sit down first, I'll go make ramen for you. The boss in Il Ramen was very happy when he saw Uzumaki Chinhao again, and then said to him with a smile. After hearing what the boss had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao nodded with a smile, and then sat down in a corner. I have to say that the owner of Il Ramen is very enthusiastic. Besides, Maelstrom Chinhao is now a small formal lady, whoever sees him will like him very much. It's been a long time since I have eaten here. It's noon now, where should I go during this afternoon? Maelstrom Chinhao sat in his seat and looked around, then thought to himself silently. Maelstrom Chinhao's current strength is much stronger than before. After these two battles this morning, its strength has generally grown relatively fast. If it is normal, how could it grow so fast? Now my ninja throwing ability has reached the proficient level, I didn't expect that after so long, my destiny will finally be able to change a bit. Let's go to Hushin this afternoon and go there to consolidate my ninja throwing ability. In the past, Maelstrom Chinhao had very few friends, it can be said that he did not, so he only trains by himself alone. One of his favorite places is that there is a forest above Hokage Rock. He always goes there to train. I have to say that the place chosen by Chinhao is really a beautiful place with a small river with fishes in it. It is very clear. The other places are all trees, and they are all big trees of that kind. Okay, your pork bone char siu ramen. Please use it slowly and be careful. While Uzumaki Chinhao was thinking, the owner of Il Ramen put the ramen he had just ordered in front of him, and then smiled and said to him. Okay, boss, thanks for your hard work. Uzumaki Chinhao said with a polite smile after looking at the pork bones and barbecued pork ramen in front of him. It's so fragrant, it's still the original taste, I'm going to start. Uzumaki Chinhao said with a smile while looking at the pork bones and barbecued pork ramen in front of him. After that, he took out a pair of chopsticks and started to eat the ramen in the bowl. Now in the Hokage period, it is relatively peaceful. There are no major wars, but there are still many small wars. Of course, within a few days, there will be a very big war in Konoha village, that is, the Nine Tails invading Konoha. Chapter 14, Yul Ramen 2. Since Uzumaki Chinhao and Mu Liamu had just fought, he is very hungry now. It took a very short time to finish that bowl of pork bones and char siu ramen. Hiccup, my goodness, so full, I feel really happy now. Haha. Uzumaki Chinhao hiccuped after eating the ramen. I have to say that this ramen is really delicious. Well, I even drank the soup. After Uzumaki Chinhao wiped his mouth, he put the ramen money next to the bowl and walked out of the ramen restaurant. Oh, I am really happy today. After eating ramen, my strength has improved a lot. Ding, congratulations to the host for a happy mood, Chakra +5. After hearing what the system had just said, the corners of his mouth rose slightly, and then he walked towards the back mountain. The season in Konoha village is still relatively ideal now, at least not so hot or so cold. This time is the most suitable for training. If I remember correctly, I haven't come here to practice in Hyushin for several days. Thinking about it now, I really miss it very much. Whirlpool Chinhao walked over to Hyushin, thinking silently in his heart. Soon, Maelstrom Chinhao had already arrived at Hyushin. As soon as he entered Hyushin, he saw where he had trained before. The training place selected by the Whirlpool Chinhao is really very good. The environment is very good. It is a low-lying canyon with a very clear river in the middle. And the surrounding area is surrounded by dense trees. Now Maelstrom Chinhao is no longer an ordinary person, but now he has a system, and training here is also a very good place to hide his strength from others. I just finished eating, it's time to move my muscles, otherwise the food will become fat. After Wuxi Chinhao came to the river, he looked at the reflection in the river and said with a smile. At this time, Uzumaki Chinhao bent down and washed his face in the creek, and then came to the top of Hokage Rock, looking at the scenery inside the village. I have to say that Konoha village is really beautiful. I didn't expect it to be here. It was very prosperous at that time. If in the original world, at this time, most people would take a nap at home, who would have nothing to do without going out. After Whirlpool Chinhao sighed on the Hokage Rock for a while, he slowly walked back to the side of the small river. At this moment, he saw the targets he had hung on the tree. After 2 days of fighting with others, Maelstrom Chinhao's own strength has also improved, and it is still very obvious. If you follow this speed, I believe Uzumaki Chinhao will be able to dominate the ninja world soon. Today, let's consolidate my ability to toss for a long time. Although I have reached the proficiency level, it is still relatively weak compared to those who are strong. Maelstrom Chinhao said and walked to a bush. Next to. Wow! At this moment, Wuxi Chinhao stretched out his hands and reached into the grass. After a few seconds, he took out several handfuls of kiwi from the inside. Fortunately, I hid a few kunao here, otherwise there is really no way to train today. Maelstrom Chinhao said in a low voice while looking at the few kunao in his hands. Chapter 15, Weapons, show up quickly. After wiping the dust on kiwi, Wu Chinhao slowly walked to the side of the river, then turned around and looked at the handles he had hung on the tree and then narrowed his eyes. 2 of the kunao in his hand fired out. Da. Sure enough, Wuxi Chinhao's current endurance throwing ability was already very powerful, and he casually launched 2 kunao to hit his heart. Wow, is my throwing ability strong enough now? Looking back on how I couldn't touch the center at that time, I am really a little baffling happy thinking about it now. Maelstrom Chinhao was seeing his own suffering. After hitting the heart, he said very happily. Because of the satisfaction at the beginning, the later things got drier and more vigorous. For the next half an hour, Uzumaki Chinhao had been practicing here, tossing. After half an hour, the Whirlpool Chinhao had already smashed all the targets originally hung on the tree. During this half an hour, Maelstrom Chinhao's ninja throwing ability has been strengthened a bit, and the speed is faster, more precise and more powerful. Very good, let's train here for the ninja throwing ability first. Now it can be clearly seen that my ninja throwing ability has become a little stronger. Maelstrom Chenhao looked at the bitterness in his hand at this time. No, then said with a smile. After that, Uzumaki Chenhao slowly walked to the side of the river, squatted down and washed the sweat off his body. At this time, he was fully confident that he could dominate the ninja world in the future. I have to say how important it is to have a plug-in in this world where geniuses are running everywhere. After washing his face, the whirlpool Chenhao came to sit under a very tall tree. If I kept practicing interpersonal throwing skills for half an hour before, I would be a little impatient, but it's better now. The more I practice, the more vigorous I am now. The most important thing is to have an effect. After Maelstrom Chenhao sat down, he looked at his hands and said with a smile on his face. By the way, I almost forgot. Today, I seem to have obtained 1,000 gold coins and an orange weapon. I don't know what an orange weapon is. At this moment, Maelstrom Chenhao suddenly thought of something, and then said with a smile. Ding, do you check the orange weapon? After hearing what the system had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded very happily, and then silently thought in his heart, I didn't expect that this system is really empathetic. Then let me see. Look at what this orange weapon is, and I hope you won't be too disappointed. View. After the whirlpool Chenhao finished speaking, a cloud of white light appeared in front of him, and then the white light slowly disappeared, and a card appeared inside. After seeing a card appeared in front of him, he frowned slightly, and slowly reached out his hand to pick up the card, and then he saw a paragraph on the card, but the font was very small. If you want to get a weapon, please say, weapons, weapons, show up. Damn, what kind of operation is this? It makes me say such naive words, it really fits this system too well, but what can I say, or else I can't get the orange weapon. After seeing the small line of characters above, Maelstrom Chenhao expressed his helplessness. But what can be done? I have to say this paragraph honestly. Chapter 16, Scarlet. Weapons, weapons, show up quickly. Ouch, my god, I will never say such things again in the future, it is too naive, and also very numb. Obviously, the whirlpool Chenhao had to say it reluctantly. This paragraph. Just after the whirlpool Chenhao finished speaking, the card in his hand suddenly floated in front of him and then slowly changed into a short knife. What? It looks like an ordinary short knife. Did you disappoint me again? After seeing the card turned into a short knife, Mason Chenhao expressed his disappointment. He had no idea that it would change. It became an ordinary short knife, at least that's what he thinks now. However, just when Maelstrom Chenhao was disappointed, the short knife slowly changed from black to white, and finally to red. The whole process took only 2 seconds. At this time, there was a small card next to the knife with 3 big characters, Manual. Oh, I was able to change the color, and it turned red in the end. No, it should be scarlet to be precise, and there is an instruction manual next to it. I rely on it. This operation is completely in line with the original world. After seeing that there was no change, Wuxi Chenhao said in a low voice, frowning. After that, Maelstrom Chenhao stretched out his hands and picked up the short knife and instructions. Not bad, although this short knife looks ordinary, but from the moment I touched him, I felt that he has very great power, and it is still unfathomable. The main thing is that his appearance is really real. It's very cool. Maelstrom Chenhao felt something was wrong the moment he touched the short knife, and then whispered with a smile on his face. After that, Uzumaki Chenhao put the short knife on the ground next to him, and then looked at the manual carefully. I didn't expect this knife to have such a source. I have to say that such a weapon is really rare in the Naruto world. But this is just an ordinary orange weapon, and there are many bosses behind it. Really I don't know what those weapons look like. After reading the instructions carefully, Mason Chenhao said with a smile. At this moment, Mason Chenhao put the manual in his pocket, and then picked up the short knife and slowly stood up. Maelstrom Chinhao looked at the bright red short knife in his hand, and then said with a smile, "Since your color is so scarlet, I will call you Scarlet from now on. Since I have named you, let me try your power and see what unfathomable power you can have." Whilst speaking, Maelstrom Chinhao took the short knife in his hand and slowly walked to the side of the river. At this moment, Uzumaki Chinhao injected a little chakra into the short knife, and then slashed forward vertically. ZZ. After Uzumaki Chinhao slashed, a scarlet blade rushed forward with a sizzling sound. When the blade came into contact with the big tree, it suddenly split the tree in half, and finally slowly disappeared after splitting 3 trees. Really, this power is really huge. If you don't expect any large-scale wars in the future, you just have to stand in the far direction and work hard. But now I only know very little about this short knife. There are still a lot of things I don't know about him, so let's study it slowly in the future. At this time, Mason Chinhao showed very envious eyes, watching the scarlet short knife in his hand said silently. Chapter 17, Go with the Flow. Today is really a very beautiful day. I haven't been so comfortable for a long time. I have taught a few people who always bullied me. I am really very happy, and I have obtained such a powerful weapon today. It's really my lucky day. Whirlpool Chinhao put his short knife in his backpack at this moment, then walked to the side and sat down. Everyone is born not to be bullied. Before, Maelstrom Chinhao had very few friends. When he came to Naruto world, he didn't have any friends. His strength has always been very weak. Now he finally has a chance to stand up. Of course he was very happy. The temperature in Konoha village is really comfortable right now. This small temperature is blowing, and it feels very comfortable. If you can have a little tea at this time, it would be even better. Uzumaki Chinhao sat looking at the surrounding trees on the ground, he said with a smile. In fact, everyone yearns for strong strength very much, but because their physique has no such ability at all, they will find ways to improve their strength. If there is an opportunity, they can't wait to grasp this opportunity severely in their hands. Can't let him escape. At this moment, Wuxi Chinhao stood up and came to the top of Hokage Rock, then sat down and looked at the scenery in the village below. Konoha village, what a prosperous city, but there will be a very big war in a few days. If it weren't for the mysterious mask, Okinawa village would not have suffered such a huge destruction. Naruto Uzumaki, I won't lose my parents here. Maelstrom Chinhao looked at the Konoha village under his nose and said with emotion. But even if Maelstrom Chinhao wanted to stop the war, his current strength was not strong enough, so he could only pray that he could do something by then to save the lives of the 4 generations of couples. Thinking about it now, I really rushed to the poor for Naruto. After the vortex in the column sank, he lost his parents and lived a humble life. The people in the village thought he was a disaster star, and he let him 4 generations of couples have lost their lives. But it's different now. Even if the 4 generations of couples lose the naming man and me, I will definitely make him live very happy, but he can no longer live as a very inferiority complex as before, although he is the hero of Konoha village later. But when he was a teenager, he was really pitiful and helpless. Maelstrom Chinhao said very firmly at this time. Indeed, Naruto Uzumaki in the original book was very pitiful when he was young. If his mentor had not led him on the right path, it would be really unimaginable in the future. Naruto Uzumaki has the power of 9 tails in his body. In the later stage, it is through his own efforts that he will grow to be very strong. If he went down the evil road at that time, then Konoha village would be wiped out by him sooner or later. At this moment, Wuxi Chinhao picked up a small stone and slowly threw it into the air. Forget it, it's not the time to think about these things. Let's take a step by step. I don't know what will happen then, and I don't know if I will make some changes in the future. It's natural, it's not early, let's go to Uncle Watergate's house for dinner. At this moment, Wuxi Chinhao slowly stood up, and then patted the dust on his body. After preparing everything, Uzumaki Chinhao walked slowly, descended the mountain, and came to Konoha village. Chapter 18, Smell Good. Everyone is here to take a look, delicious and beautiful rice balls. Don't miss the on-site processing when you pass by. You can't buy it and lose money, you can't be fooled, you can only buy better products. Unexpectedly, there are still people in Konoha village who would say this slogan, and it really matches the original world. For a moment, suddenly thought of the original world. Maelstrom Chinhao walked in Wei village. Inside, listening to the hawkers yelling around him, I thought silently. At this moment, Maelstrom Chinhao stopped his steps and went to a shop selling rice next to him, and then looked at the rice in front of him. No matter how you say it is to go to someone's house for dinner, you have to bring something, even if I am their adopted son. Maelstrom Chinhao looked at the rice in front of him, and thought with a smile in his heart. The boss gave me 6, the best onigiri. Maelstrom Chinhao said with a smile to the shop owner at this moment. Okay, please wait. I'll get you 6 of the best-selling rice balls. Let's distract the taste, take a bit of each one. After hearing the words of Uzumaki Chinhao, the shop owner said to him with a smile. Whirlpool Chinhao nodded with a smile at this moment, then took out his wallet and paid the boss. You guys take it, don't worry, I will get you the best-selling ones and go back to eat, I promise you will want to eat the next time. The shop owner put the wrapped rice in the morning whirlpool. In-house hand, he said with a smile on his face. Okay, thank you boss, I will definitely come again next time. After Uzumaki Chinhao finished speaking, he took 6 rice and slowly walked towards the home of the 4th generation Naruto Fengshuman. 6 rice are exactly 2 for 1 person and should be eaten. You can put them together if you don't finish them. The rice in this store should be very delicious, but this is the first time I bought it. Try it first. Uzumaki Chinhao looking at the 6 rice in his hand, he said with a smile on his face. Soon, the Whirlpool Chinhao had arrived at the home of the 4th generation of Hokage Wave Fengshuman. Boom boom boom. Uncle Watergate, I'm here. Maelstrom Chinhao knocked on the door of Bo-Feng Watergate's house, and then said loudly. At this time, Bo-Feng Watergate and Uzumaki Juxina were placing food in the courtyard, waiting for Uzumaki Chinhao's arrival. Xiaohao is here, I'll open the door for him. Uzumaki Juxina said to Bo-Feng Shuman very happily after hearing the shout of Uzumaki Chinhao. After hearing what Uzumaki Juxina had just said, Bo-Feng Watergate nodded with a smile, and then Uzumaki Juxing tears wiped his hand, and quickly came to the gate, opening the door for Uzumaki Chinhao. Aunt Juxina, I'm here, this is the rice ball that I bought. After seeing Uzumaki Juxina, Uzumaki Chinhao said to her very happily. Xiaohao, come here and bring something to eat. I have made a big table of food. I may not finish it today. I will eat more later, or it will be spoiled. When Uzumaki Juxina saw Uzumaki Chinhao, he said softly to him very happily. Then Uzumaki Juxina and Uzumaki Chinhao walked slowly to the house, and then closed the door. At this time Uzumaki Chinhao had already smelled the food and smiled. It's so fragrant, I have to say that the meals made by Aunt Juxina are fragrant. I will eat more in a while. Chapter 19, A Family of 3, Having Fun. Okay, don't stand anymore, today your Aunt Myling has cooked a lot of food. Be sure to eat a little more in a while. After Bo-Feng Shuman put all the tableware in place, he told Whirlpool Chinhao said with a smile. Don't worry, Uncle Watergate, I exercised for a long time this afternoon, and I am very hungry now. I will definitely eat a lot of things in a while. Maelstrom Chinhao heard what Bo-Feng Watergate had just said. After that, he said with a smile on his face. At this time, the 4 generations of couples laughed instantly after hearing what Mao Chinhao had just said, and then the 3 of them sat down in their seats. Okay, let's all start eating, otherwise the food will be cold in a while. Uzumaki Kushina said with a smile to the 2 of them at this moment. When Uzumaki Chinhao heard what Uzumaki Juxina just said, he nodded with a smile, and then picked up his own tableware and started eating the food on the table. I have to say that the scene of eating like this is really very warm. A family of 3 eats together, having fun, talking and laughing. This kind of scene will be very happy to anyone. Wow, the braised eggplant made by Aunt Juzene is really delicious. It tastes exactly the same as the original one. I love it. Not only this dish is delicious, but the other dishes are also very delicious. It's something I like very much. After taking a bite of the meal, Wuxi Chenhao said very happily that he hadn't eaten the meal made by his aunt for a long time. After hearing what Uzumaki Chenhao had just said, Bo Feng Shuman nodded with a smile, and then said, "Isn't it, your Aunt Juzene has worked hard. Today these meals are all his own. You cook every dish he cooks by yourself, so you have to eat more next time." After hearing what Bo Feng Shuman had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded with a smile. At this moment, his chopsticks did not stop, but continued to deliver food to his mouth. "Xiao Hao Hao, eat more if it tastes good. I don't know if I will have the chance to eat the food I cooked in the future. You will grow up in the future, and you will not be by our side. You have to go out often to perform tasks. By that time, I don't know how long it will take to eat the food I cooked." Uzumaki Kushina added a little braised pork at this time and put it in Uzumaki Chenhao's bowl. And then said with a smile. When Uzumaki Chenhao heard what Uzumaki Kushina just said, he was a little bit sad for some reason. He knew that in the original Naruto world, the 4 generations of couples had already died when the 9 tails invaded, and now it's true. It hurts a bit. "I see, Aunt Juzene, don't worry, I will take care of myself in the future, and I will also miss your meals very much. If I have the opportunity in the future, I will definitely eat your meals." When the Whirlpool Chenhao was talking, bloodshot eyes appeared slightly in his eyes. At this time, Wuxi Chenhao's mood was very complicated. He knew that the 2 of them would sacrifice if they stopped for a few days, but now I can't say this feeling, it's really uncomfortable. Chapter 20, Very Cruel. Okay, what are you 2 talking about? I was happily talking today, but as a result of being said by you 2, I feel a little sad now. Let's eat faster and stop talking so much nonsense. Bo Feng Shuman touched his nose at this moment, and then said with a smile to the 2 of them. Uzumaki Chenhao and Uzumaki Juxina smiled after hearing what Bo Feng Watergate had just said, and then they began to eat the food on the dinner table. In fact, every woman hopes to have this kind of family. She sits at a table with her husband and children and eats dinner. It's fun, how enjoyable it is. Now Uzumaki Chenhao understands that 4 generations of couples will die if they stop for a few days. Then Naruto will become his only relative. By that time, he will no longer be able to eat the food made by Aunt Nine Sina. Thinking about it, I really feel sorry for him. Maelstrom Chenhao was an orphan in his previous life, and now he has finally had a family here. In the end, he has to lose his parents, which is really a pity. However, due to his own strength, Uzumaki Chenhao couldn't change the facts at all. Now, all he can do is to make Naruto feel that the world is not so cruel, at least Uzumaki Naruto still has him. Forget it, it's not the time to think about these things, let the flow go, wait until the 9 tails invade Konoha village, maybe there will be a way. Uzumaki Chenhao shook his head gently while eating the food, thinking silently in his heart. In fact, in the world of Naruto, at least the current era is very cruel. There are countless families who will lose their wives. It is very common to lose their parents and children. Maelstrom Chenhao has been very sensible since he was a child. He never worried his adoptive father and mother. He was very obedient. In this world, he knew that he had no talent, so he practiced in the room by himself every day, so now he does not. A few friends. In this way, the family of 3 ate the food on the table in the yard. After eating for more than an hour, they wiped out all the food on the table. I can't eat it anymore. My stomach feels so full now. I haven't eaten such a delicious meal in a long time. At this moment, Maelstrom Chenhao patted his belly, and then smiled. Said. Ding, congratulations to the host for a happy mood, experience value plus 10. Ding, the host's physical strength has recovered. After hearing what the system had just said, the corners of his mouth rose slightly, and his heart was very happy. Just like the game in the original world, you can be invincible when you charge up. The current Maelstrom Chenhao is in this state. Even if he does not practice every day, he will not regress, because he has a system that will increase his experience and check every day no matter what he does. Carrot. Okay, you two sit here first, let's rest for a while, I'll go and pack all the tableware. Bo Feng Shuman stood up at this moment, and then smiled to the Whirlpool Chenhao and Uzumaki Kushina said. Uncle Shuman, let me come. Maelstrom Chenhao suddenly stood up at this moment, and then said to Bo Feng Shuman with a smile, having to say that he is really a very sensible child. After hearing what Wuxi Chenhao said just now, Bo Feng Shui shook his head with a smile, and then said to him, Okay, kid, you can stay here with your aunt, I'll go just pack it up. Chapter 21, Nice Room. After hearing what Bo Feng Shuman had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded with a smile, and then sat down again. Did Xiaohao go cultivating again today? I think you ate so much tonight, you must have cultivated a lot today. At this moment, Uzumaki Juxina turned his head and smiled at Uzumaki Chenhao said. When Uzumaki Chenhao heard what Uzumaki Kushina just said, he nodded with a smile, and then said, Yes, Aunt Kushina, I have cultivated a lot today, and I also feel that these days my strength is getting stronger and stronger, and I also feel that I am getting stronger now. When Uzumaki Juxina heard what Uzumaki Chenhao had just said, he nodded with a smile, and then stretched out his palm and touched Uzumaki Chenhao's head. In the future, you must pay attention to your own cultivation methods, you must pay attention to time, and don't tire yourself out. Uzumaki Kushina said to him with a smile at this time. When Uzumaki Chenhao heard what Uzumaki Juxina just said, he nodded with a smile, and then said to her, I see, Aunt Juxina, don't worry, I will definitely pay attention. Besides, when did I make you and Uncle Watergate worry about me? Uzumaki Juxina smiled very pleased after hearing what Uzumaki Chenhao had just said. At this moment, both of them laughed, and then the Whirlpool Chenhao looked up at the stars in the sky. This kind of day is really very leisurely. I don't know if this kind of day can last a few days. Now I am really afraid of the Nine Tails invading Konoha. Maelstrom Chenhao looked at the stars in the sky, and then he was silent in his heart. Thought of. In this way, Uzumaki Chenhao and Uzumaki Juxina sat in the courtyard, feeling the breeze, talking with a smile, and it was time to sleep soon. Okay, it's not too early. Let's go to bed. We have to get up early and go to the hospital for an examination. After finishing all the tableware, Bo Feng Shuman walked into the courtyard and was gentle with Uzumaki Kushina said. After hearing what Bo Feng Mizuno had just said, Uzumaki Kushina nodded with a smile, and then slowly stood up. Xiaohao, sleep here tonight, don't go home, it's too late. If there is nothing to do tomorrow morning, you can go to the hospital with us. He said gently to the Whirlpool Chenhao. After hearing what his aunt had just said, Uzumaki Chenhao nodded with a smile, and then helped Uzumaki Kushina into the room. Time flies so fast, it's time to go to bed in a blink of an eye. If nothing happens tomorrow morning, I'll accompany you to the hospital. After Wuxi Chenhao and his uncle and aunt walked into the room, they treated them, the two said with a smile. After hearing what Uzumaki Chenhao had just said, Bo Feng Mizuno and Uzumaki Juxina nodded with a smile, and then walked to their room. At this time, Wuxi Chenhao also came to the room where he lived when he was a child. After returning to his room, Wuxi Chenhao felt warm. Although he hadn't lived here for a long time, his aunt also cleaned it up. Wow, I am really grateful to Aunt Juxina, I haven't lived here for so long, and I have cleaned up this place so cleanly. Maelstrom Chinhao said with a smile at this moment. Chapter 22, Bad Luck, Stop Smoking. This small room of Wuxi Chinhao's decoration is very simple, a cabinet for clothes, a small bed and a small table. In fact, even so, he is very happy here. I lived here when I was young, and I was very happy every day. When I was young, I didn't have so many worries. I just took care of the life in front of me. It was really easy to live carefree. Looking back now, when I was young, I had a very good life, at least with my parents, but now my parents are leaving me soon. I really feel a little bit reluctant. Even if I know my parents are dying, I still can't change anything. Really, it's so sad. Maelstrom Chinhao stood in the room and looked at the small bed, then thought to himself silently. In fact, after Uzumaki Chinhao traveled to the world of Naruto, at that time, Uzumaki Chinhao had already determined that Bofeng Shiman and Uzumaki Kushina were his reborn parents. Of course, both of them regarded Uzumaki Chinhao as themselves. To raise his own son. In any case, the relationship between the three of them is still very good, at least they all love each other. I haven't slept in this bed for a long time. Tonight, I have to take a good rest. If there is nothing to do tomorrow, I will accompany Aunt Niuzune and Uncle Praetunam to the hospital. I also really want to see the unborn. What about Naruto Uzumaki? At this moment, Uzumaki Chinhao whispered to his face with a smile. Then Maelstrom Chinhao came to his cot and sat down. At this time, he felt extremely warm, and he hadn't relaxed like this in a long time. In the past, when he was a child, Maelstrom Chinhao did not have such a strong strength. He was bullied by different people every day. Now his strength is slowly becoming stronger. Now he has also begun to live his own life, so there is no need to consider being someone bullied. And I can slowly raise my head in my class. I used to be the last one in my class every time. It was really uncomfortable. From now on, I must get ahead, and I must not be slaughtered as before. Now the opportunity is in my own hands. If I can't grasp it anymore, I will really live in vain for so many years. Chen Hao sat on the bed and looked at the scenery outside the window, then said with a smile on his face. Ding, does the host hold a lottery? Maelstrom Chinhao almost forgot after hearing what the system had just said. He still had 1,000 gold coins and could still do another lottery draw, but at this time he recalled the first lottery draw and got one. Thank you for your patronage. It's a bit embarrassing. Hehe, I'd better not draw for now. Last time, I drew one for the first time. Thank you for your patronage. Now I am a little scared of the lottery. So low probability is drawn. Thank you for your patronage. My first time. I got it, and I really got lucky. Maelstrom Chinhao complained at this moment. It is true that only 10% of such a large turntable is thank you for your patronage. With such a small probability, the vortex god will be drawn. It is really unlucky. Forget it, let's draw it later, save some gold coins, and you can draw something in the next 3 or 4 rounds. At least I guess this way. When I played games before, even pumping luck is not much worse. At this moment, Wuxi Chinhao shook his head with a smile, and then thought to himself silently. Chapter 23, The road is still long. Now this season, you have to cover a little quilt to sleep at night, or else you will catch a cold at night. Maelstrom Chinhao said as he walked to the closet and opened the closet. Just when Wuxi Chinhao opened the closet, he saw the neat clothes and quilts inside. I didn't expect that Aunt Juzune would organize the closet so well. I can't bear to use these quilts now. Maelstrom Chinhao looked at the neat clothes and quilts inside, and then said with a smile. I am still a little envious of Uncle Watergate. I can find such a good daughter-in-law. Uncle Watergate is really lucky. If I can find a good wife like Aunt Niasina in the future, I can. The ancestral tomb is really smoking, haha. Whirlpool Chinhao took out a small quilt from the closet and returned to the bed while speaking. Just like what Maori Chinhao said, every man hopes to find a wife who loves him very much, who is very considerate and loves himself very much. Regardless of life, I will be very happy. It's still early, not too sleepy, so let's take a rest first, and think about what we will do after going to the hospital tomorrow. Maelstrom Chinhao was lying in bed at this time, thinking silently in his heart. Whirlpool Chinhao didn't like to go to bed early in the original world. He would not fall asleep until 11 o'clock every night. It was really uncomfortable to let him go to bed so early in the Hokage world. Wake up early tomorrow morning, and then accompany Uncle Watergate and Aunt Juzune to the hospital for a checkup, and then what are you doing? I don't know if someone will ask for trouble tomorrow. Maelstrom Chinhao was silent at this time. Think. In fact, Maelstrom Chinhao is not worried at all that someone will make trouble for him, because now his strength is enough to contend with those people, and now he mainly wants to improve his strength as soon as possible, the sooner the better. The road ahead is still very long. Go slowly, maybe I will meet a few close friends in the future, then I will form my own team. I must leave my own in Naruto world heroic deeds. We must let those who have bullied me take a good look at how I grew up. Maelstrom Chinhao whispered with a smile at this moment. He has never been a person willing to give up. Whenever he is bullied, he will think of ways to improve his strength, but no matter what, his strength is not improved much, as if God is teasing him. It's different now, now he has a system, and this system is enough for him to grow up quickly. I believe that in the future, as long as I work hard to practice, I will definitely become the strongest person in Konoha village. No, it should be said that I am the strongest person in the ninja world. I must become a legend and let those who have bullied me take a good look. Maelstrom Chinhao suddenly sat up at this moment, then said with a firm expression on his face. There are almost a few days before Kyuubi invaded Konoha. In these few days, Uzumaki Chinhao made up his mind to grow up quickly, hoping to save the lives of 4 generations of couples. He had no parents since he was a child, and he didn't want Naruto to lose his parents at this time as before. Chapter 24, Breakfast. In this way, Uzumaki Chinhao stayed in his bed, thinking for dozens of minutes, and then slowly fell asleep. I have to say that now Maelstrom Chinhao is really a little tired. He has been busy with his own cultivation these days. It hasn't been for a long time. Why did he sleep? Now he is still happily, at least today with himself. S parents had a dinner together. In the dead of night, Konoha village is still very quiet. At this time, many people in Konoha village have returned to their homes to rest. Many ninjas who have returned from work outside will go to the tavern to drink a little together. After working for a day, they are also very tired. In the evening they can drink and talk and laugh together, which is quite happy. Konoha village is very comfortable no matter what, everyone has their own life, everyone has their own happy things, and they also have their own very distressing things, but chatting with their family and friends, when eating, they all put their worries aside. In this way, one night's time passed quickly. In the early hours of the next morning, Maelstrom Chinhao got up early, and at this time he found that his uncle and aunt hadn't got up yet. I don't know what's wrong. If Aunt Juzune was not pregnant, it would be different now. They haven't got up so late. An indescribable thing must have happened last night. No matter what, I am also a 20 or 30-year-old mentality. I'm old. Maelstrom Chinhao looked at the tightly closed door, and then thought to himself silently. I don't have much to do when I wake up so early. It's better to make breakfast. After the two of them get up, they can go to the hospital after eating directly. Wuxi Chinhao thought silently at this moment. Whirlpool Chinhao is a person who talks about everything. At this time, he didn't wait for a minute, walked directly into the kitchen, looked at the remaining ingredients, and started to get busy. Whirlpool Chinhao used to live alone, so he can handle the little things like cooking. In this way, the cross of knives and chopping boards rang in the kitchen. The morning in Konoha village is a very beautiful scene. The birds are chirping on the trees and the sun is shining everywhere in Konoha village, and it is really very quiet now. At the current time, there are still very few people in Konoha village. Most of them are elderly people. They have developed a habit of decades. They wake up at this time every morning, go for a walk outside, and buy some breakfast. What? The time passed by 1 minute and 1 second. Soon, the whirlpool Chinhao made all the breakfast. Today, he made a relatively simple breakfast. He cooked a little rice porridge and made some side dishes. I have to say that Whirlpool Chinhao's cooking skills are still okay. The fragrant food was brought to the kitchen, and then Whirlpool Chinhao came to the sofa and sat down. By the way, I know what I have to do after I go to the hospital today. I haven't seen Chun Musa for several days. I don't know what I have been working on these days. I will have time to visit him later. Well, I haven't seen him for several days, and I still miss it a little. Maelstrom Chinhao sat on the sofa, and then whispered with a smile on his face. Chun Musa is a childhood sweetheart of Wuxi Chinhao in Konoha village. I have to say that this little girl usually treats Maelstrom Chinhao very well. When Vortex Chinhao was bullied in the past, she was always the first to rush over to comfort Vortex Chinhao. And she didn't alienate him because of Wuxi Chinhao's weak strength. Chapter 25, Luck Burst. I don't know what's going on. It's really weird that I slept so late last night and got up so early this morning. Maelstrom Chinhao sat on the sofa and looked at the ceiling, then thought to himself silently. I haven't seen Chun Musa for a few days. I don't know what she is doing at home now. At this moment, Wuxi Chinhao suddenly thought that when he had never had a friend before, there was only this little girl named Chun Musa, willing to play with Maelstrom Chinhao. After Wuxi Chinhao traveled to Naruto world, he had no friends until he met a little girl, Chun Musa, and their relationship has been slowly cultivated ever since. Chun Musa liked Maelstrom Chinhao very much, even though Maelstrom Chinhao was very weak, he wouldn't dislike it even so. I have to say that Chun Musa is a very gifted child. This little girl has been studying since she was a child, and she is very gifted. She always learns ninjutsu quickly, and she always ranks first in the exam every time. To be honest, she is a veritable genius girl. It was precisely because of this that Maelstrom Chinhao was deeply attracted by her. When the uncle and aunt get up, they will finish the meal and go to the hospital. After going to the hospital, go to Chun Musa. I don't know what she is doing at home these days. I haven't seen her for several days. When Chen Hao was talking, the corners of his mouth rose slightly. Obviously, he was very happy when he thought of Chun Musa. At this moment, Wuxi Chinhao suddenly thought of something, and then whispered, "Forget it, let's draw a lottery. Anyway, I don't have anything to spare now. I don't believe my luck is so bad. I couldn't draw both times. Ding, does the host want to draw a lottery?" After hearing what the system had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao laughed inexplicably, and then whispered, "It's not bad, I can understand what I mean. It is really a very understanding system. I hope my luck will not be too bad this time, but it can't be like the last time. I won the draw. Thank you for your patronage." After Maelstrom Chinhao finished speaking, a very huge roulette appeared in his mind, full of reward items. "Okay, let's take a gamble today to see if my luck is bad, let's start spinning." After the Whirlpool Chinhao finished speaking, the huge roulette in his mind slowly began to spin, and after about 10 seconds, it slowly stopped. "God bless me, I must win, even if it's the second time, it's better than winning, and thank you for your patronage." Wuxi Chinhao prayed silently in his heart at this time. The largest roulette gradually stopped, and finally the pointer landed on a small red square. "Great, great, I finally won the prize. I seem to have great luck today. I am so happy." After seeing that he won the prize, Mason Chinhao was very happy. Said, "Ding, congratulations to the host for winning 500 gold coins and a devil fruit, please check it in time." After hearing what the system had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded with a smile, and then returned to the real world. Chapter 26, Queuing. Great, today is really my lucky day. I drew 500 gold coins and a devil fruit at once. Now I am really curious about what system that devil fruit is. Maelstrom Chenhao he leaned his head against the sofa in both hands, thinking in his heart with a smile on his face. Unknowingly, time passed slowly, and it was almost 7 o'clock in the morning. At this time, Bo Feng Shuman and Uzumaki Kushina had already got up. Xiao Hao, did you get up so early today? After Uzumaki Kushina walked out of the bedroom, he saw Uzumaki Chenhao sitting on the sofa and smiling, and said to him with a smile. When Uzumaki Chenhao heard what Uzumaki Juxina said just now, he nodded with a smile, then stood up, walked to her side and said to her, "Yes, I don't know what's going on. I woke up very early this morning, so I can't sleep anymore. Aunt Juxina, hurry up and wash her face, I have already prepared breakfast, and when we finish breakfast, I will accompany you to the hospital for a checkup." Uzumaki Chenhao said with a smile to Uzumaki Juxina at this time. Uzumaki Juxina showed a relieved expression after hearing what Uzumaki Chenhao had just said, and then walked to the bathroom to start washing. Soon, the two of them had already packed up, and they both sat at the dining table and started eating breakfast prepared by Whirlpool Chenhao. Unexpectedly, Xiao Hao's cooking skills are quite good. This morning's breakfast was really delicious. Uzumaki Kushina said with a smile at this moment. After hearing what his wife had just said, Bo Feng Shuman nodded with a smile, and then said, "Yes, the food is really delicious. It's worthy of being our little girl. How, I really grew up now." After hearing the 4 generations of couples boasting about themselves, Maelstrom Chenhao smiled triumphantly. In this way, the 3 of them sat together eating breakfast, and soon the food on the table was wiped out. "Okay, now we are all about to prepare, and then go to the hospital to check your Aunt Juxina." After Bo Feng Shuman finished packing the tableware, he smiled at Uzumaki Chenhao and Uzumaki Kushina said. After hearing what Bo Feng Shuman had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded with a smile, and then the family of 3, after tidying up, walked out of the house. The air in the morning is really fresh. In the future, you must get up early and go for a walk. It must be very good for your body. Bo Feng Shuman said with a smile after he walked out of the house. It takes about 20 minutes to go to the hospital. After the physical examination, I will go to Chun Muzi and see what he is doing at home. To be honest, I really miss her very much now. This time I thought of it silently. Ding! The physical fitness of the host with fresh air in the respiratory tract +1. After hearing what the system had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded with a smile on his face. At this moment, Bo Feng Watergate and Uzumaki Chenhao together helped Uzumaki Kushina and walked towards the hospital. Soon, their family of 3 came to the hospital. The hospital in the morning was quite quiet and there were no people, so they didn't have long lines, so they hung up the number. Chapter 27, Uzumaki Naruto. Let's just sit here and wait for a while, there are 3 people in front. Bo Feng Shui-men helped Uzumaki Kushina walk to the rest area, and then sat down. The hospital in the morning is still relatively quiet and there are not so many people. Fortunately, we came earlier. If we come later, we should have a long line. After Mason Chenhao sat down, said with a smile. In fact, in every hospital, there will be a lot of people most of the time, especially in hospitals like this kind of medical checkup on pregnant women, there are always a lot of people in the afternoon. Maelstrom Chenhao fell ill in the original world. Go to the hospital to check his body. It always takes a long time to get registered. It's really not easy. By the way, Uncle Watergate, does the little baby have a name now? At this moment, Wuxi Chenhao suddenly turned his head and asked Bo Feng Watergate. After hearing what the Whirlpool Chenhao had just said, Bo Feng Shuman nodded with a smile, and then said to Whirlpool Chenhao, "Yes, Xiao Hao, I have already figured out a name, and it is called Naruto, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki is indeed a very good name. I believe Xiao Naruto will definitely become a person like his uncle in the future. I believe that his strength will be stronger than us in the future. Just after Feng Shuman said something, he nodded with a smile, and then said, Naruto Uzumaki, the original protagonist in the Naruto world, had lost his parents, that is, the adoptive parents of Uzumaki Chenhao. Because he lost his parents since he was a child, he was a bit rebellious. But it's okay now. If Maelstrom Chenhao can't change reality, at least Naruto Maelstrom will have his older brother in the future. Okay, it's already here, Xiao Hao, you can rest here for a while, and I will go in with your aunt. Bo Feng Shuman said to the Whirlpool Chenhao next to him with a smile after hearing the call. After hearing what Bo Feng Shuman had just said, Uzumaki Chenhao nodded with a smile, and then helped Uzumaki Juxina to send her to the treatment room. I don't know what's going on inside. I really hope that the little celebrities can grow up smoothly. If I can't change the lives of generations of couples, then I can only bring a little family feeling to Naruto Uzumaki. After Whirlpool Chenhao returned to the rest area again, he thought to himself silently. Maelstrom Chenhao had no relatives here since he was a child, but he couldn't let his only relative lose confidence anymore. At the very least, Naruto Uzumaki cannot be left alone. According to the current days, I will go to school soon, almost the day after tomorrow, when I will show off my style in the classroom. Let those who looked down on me before, let them be surprised. This time you must show yourself well, but you can't be as weak as before. Maelstrom Chenhao thought silently while sitting on the seat. At this moment, Wuxi Chenhao suddenly saw a very familiar figure. Oh, I didn't expect it. Uchiha Sasuke's mother also came here today for a physical examination. Is the child who followed her next to Uchiha Itachi? At this moment, Uzumaki Chenhao suddenly began to look at the two carefully. Personal. In terms of time, these two people are Uchiha Itachi's mother and Uchiha Itachi's brother. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Itachi are about the same age, so they were born in these few days. Chapter 28, Go Home. Unexpectedly, Uchiha Itachi has grown up so big. He will be called Itachi God in the future. I have to say that I really admire him. I have such an accomplishment at a young age, and he really is a veritable genius. Uzumaki Chenhao looked at Uchiha Itachi with emotion. Think about it now, I really feel sorry for Uchiha Sasuke. If it weren't for my own family, I wouldn't have fallen to this day and let my brother hate myself. Now I really admire him. I have to say that I used to respectfully call him God Itachi. Uzumaki Chenhao thought while looking at Uchiha Itachi in front of him. Forget it, don't look at other people anymore. It's embarrassing to keep watching. Now I still think about it for a while if I find Chun Muzi, where to take her to play. Maelstrom Chenhao is at this time he took his gaze back, and said quietly with a smile. At this time, Wuxi Chenhao turned his attention to the entrance of the hospital. I am afraid that Aunt Ju Xi and Nai won't come out for a while now, I'd better rest here for a while. Maelstrom Chenhao whispered at this moment. In this way, Maelstrom Chenhao gradually fell asleep watching the people coming and going outside the hospital. Time passed by 1 minute and 1 second, and almost an hour later, Bo Feng Shuman slowly walked out of the treatment room with the help of Uzumaki Kushina. Xiao Hao wakes up, we should go home. After Bo Feng Shuman came to Wuxi Chenhao, he slowly said to him, and gently shook his body. After hearing what Bo Feng Shuman said, Uzumaki Chenhao gradually became conscious, then rubbed his eyes and stood up. Uncle Watergate, Aunt Juxina, you are out, how is Naruto? Uzumaki Chenhao rubbed his eyes and said with a smile to the couple. Uzumaki Kushina nodded with a smile after hearing something like what Chenhao said just now, and then said, Xiao Naruto can be born after everything is normal now and stop for a few days. By the way, stop for a few days and you can be a little brother. By then, Our family of 4 will have a very happy life. Bo Feng Shuman gently stroked the head of Whirlpool Chenhao with his hand at this time, and then said with a smile. After hearing what Bo Feng Shuman and Uzumaki Juxina had just said, Uzumaki Chenhao nodded softly, but he felt a little uncomfortable. He knew that they would sacrifice if they stopped for a few days, but can't say it. Okay, we don't have anything to do today, so let's go home and rest. Bo Feng Shuman said to Uzumaki Chenhao and Uzumaki Juxina at this moment. The 3 of them walked slowly and returned to their homes. Uncle Watergate, Aunt Juxina, you should go home first. I'm going out, I'll go find my friend. When the 3 of them arrived at their door, Uzumaki Chenhao said to both of them. Uzumaki Juxina and Bo Feng Shuman nodded with a smile after hearing what Uzumaki Chenhao had just said. Then the 2 of them returned home, while Uzumaki Chenhao walked to other places. Okay, there is nothing more to do now, let's go to Chun Muzi. I don't know what Muzi is doing at home now, I hope she can have time to accompany me out for a walk. Maelstrom Chenhao turned towards Chun Mu. Walking in the direction of Zijia, he thought to himself. Chapter 29, Chun Muzi 1. The time now is almost 9 o'clock in the morning. At this time, most people are already up. Only some children love to sleep in, which is contained in their dreams. At this point in time, Konoha village is already quite lively. It's time to open the door and go shopping. It's really lively in Konoha village now. There are everything for sale, and there are so many people. The restaurant is already full now. Maelstrom Chenhao looked at the small shops on both sides of the street, and was silent in his heart. Think. After seeing Muzi for a while, let's take her out to have fun, take her to eat something. I haven't accompanied her out for a long time, I really miss her very much. Maelstrom Chenhao thought at this moment. Silently thought, a smile appeared on his face. In the Naruto world, Maelstrom Chenhao's best friend is now Chun Muzi. After all, he has very few friends here. To be precise, there should be none. In this way, Maelstrom Chenhao walks slowly to Chun Muzi's home. It's really troublesome. I don't have any communication equipment here. I have to knock on the door to find someone. I'm sorry. Just a phone call in the original world is over. It doesn't have to be so troublesome. After all, the development of Konoha village is really a bit lagging behind. Maelstrom Chenhao stood in front of Chun Muzi's house, and then nagged. Forget it, let's go knock on the door, anyway, you have to knock on the door. At this moment, Wuxi Chenhao sighed and walked slowly to the door, and knocked on her. Home. Boom boom boom. After Whirlpool Chenhao knocked on the door a few times, a very gentle voice came from the courtyard. Here comes, please wait a moment. After hearing the gentle voice in the yard, Maelstrom Chenhao determined that it was Chun Muzi's voice or so gentle and sweet, and then a smile appeared on his face. Just as Chun Muzi opened the door of her house immediately, Wuxi Chenhao instantly sorted out her makeup, hoping to give Chun Muzi a good impression. It turned out to be you? How, come in quickly, today my parents are not at home, I am alone at home. After Chun Muzi opened his door, he saw the handsome Whirlpool Chenhao standing next to him. In front of him, he said with a smile on his face. Hello, Muzi, I have nothing to do today, and I haven't seen you for a few days, so I plan to come and play with you. Before the Whirlpool Chenhao finished speaking, he was given by Chun Muzi. Pulled to his home, and paid attention to the house. What's the matter? I haven't seen him for a few days, how come Muzi has become so enthusiastic? After Wuxi Chenhao was pulled into her house, he was suddenly confused. Come inside the house soon, it's hot outside. While talking, Chun Muzi took Wuxi Chenhao's hand and walked into his room. This is the first time that Wuxi Chenhao has entered Chun Muzi's house, and it is also the first time he has entered Chun Muzi's boudoir. Unexpectedly, Muzi's room is so fragrant, and it is so well organized. She deserves to be a woman in my hometown, she is indeed a model of a good wife and mother. Makoto Chinhao's face was a little red at this time, and then he felt silently thought. If the two of them were about the age of 18 or 90, something should have been done in this situation now. Chapter 30, Chun Musa 2. Oh, my god, this is the first time I have entered a girl's room, and I am really embarrassed, although I am already a 30-year-old man, haha. Maelstrom Chinhao is here. When I looked at Chun Musa's room, I thought to myself. Haha, this is the first time you have come to my room. This is also the first time I let other boys into my room. Chun Musa held a glass of water and placed it in the morning whirlpool in front of Hao, and said with a smile to him. I have to say that Chun Musa is a very beautiful girl, with big eyes, a tall nose, very delicate features, and very good skin. The main thing is that her figure is really very good. I didn't expect that the clothes Musa wore today turned out to be cute. It's really unexpected. I usually wear some sportswear. But it's good, it's really cute. Maelstrom Chinhao was careful. After taking a look at Chun Musa's dressing style, he thought to himself silently. Only then did Wuxi Chinhao come back to his senses, and then answered Chun Musa's question just now. Yes, just like you said, this is the first time I have entered a girl's room, it's really the same. What I imagined is different, not the same at all. In this way, the two of them kept talking and laughing in Chun Musa's room for 2 full hours. I have to say that if they continue to develop in this way, their love will be envied by many people. What a beautiful thing about the appearance of a talented woman. Musa, it's almost noon now, let's not go out for a meal. Maelstrom Chinhao said to Chun Musa with a smile at this moment. Chun Musa nodded with a smile after hearing what Mao Chinhao had just said, and then said, okay, wait for me, I will change my clothes, and then we will go out for dinner. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao nodded softly, and then Chun Musa walked to another room and began to change her clothes. I have to say that if Musa is placed in the original world, she must be a very seductive beauty. However, the world is sinister in the original world. It is true that she is such a weak girl in that world. It's a bit unsafe. Wuxi Chinhao thought silently at this moment. Whirlpool Chinhao sat in the room and waited for almost 10 minutes. Chun Musa finally changed his clothes, and then the two of them walked out of the house together. I have to say it is really a bit hot today, there is no wind outside. Where are we going to eat today? Chun Musa said to him with a smile while walking along the street with Maelstrom Chinhao. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao turned to look at the surrounding restaurants. Let's go eat barbecue. After observing for a while, Mason Chinhao finally chose a more delicious restaurant and said to Chun Musa next to him. Chun Musa looked at the restaurant after hearing what Wuxi Chinhao said just now, then nodded and smiled and said, okay, then let's go to eat barbecue. Today I want to eat more. Okay. Pit you once. Okay, how much can you eat? You pit me once, and eat whatever you want. Let's go, let's go. Maori Chinhao said with a smile after hearing what Chun Musa had just said. Okay, this is what you said, don't regret it for a while. While Chun Musa spoke, she took Maelstrom Chinhao into the barbecue restaurant. Chapter 31, Have you finished? Welcome, are you just the two of you? The waiter inside said very warmly after Wuxi Chinhao and Chun Musa walked into the barbecue restaurant. After hearing what the waiter had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao nodded with a smile, and then said, yes, just the two of us. After hearing what the Whirlpool Chinhao had just said, the waiter nodded with a smile, and then led them to a small compartment. 2 rides, do I need something? The waiter gave the restaurant's menu to Whirlpool Chinhao while speaking. After taking the menu, Maelstrom Chinhao glanced briefly, and then said to Chun Musa, Musa, or you can order it, I don't know what to eat, just order yourself. Whatever you like is fine. Chun Musa nodded with a smile after hearing what Wuxi Chinhao had just said, then brought the menu over and began to look carefully at the dishes inside. "Let me take a closer look, I want." Chun Musa said with a smile to the waiter next to him after reading the menu. Soon Chun Musa finished all the dishes she wanted to eat, and at this time the waiter took the menu and exited the cubicle. 2. Please wait, the food will be delivered to you soon. The waiter walked to the front desk after speaking. After seeing the waiter leave here, Maelstrom Chinhao turned his head to Chun Musa and said with a smile, "Can you finish ordering so much? I can tell you, I am not very hungry now. When it's finished, we have to pack it." Chun Musa nodded with a smile after hearing what Wuxi Chinhao had just said, and then said to him, "Don't worry, haha, today I will definitely let you see what a big stomacher is. To be honest, I really might not have enough to eat. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't eat such a bit. Forget it, who made me a girl? It's better not to expose your character." Chun Musa thought silently in his heart with a smile on his face at this time. Okay, if there is not enough food for a while, let's continue to order. You wait for me here for a while, I'll go get 2 bottles of drinks." At this moment, Wuxi Chinhao stood up and said to Chun Musa, "I said with a smile." Chun Musa nodded after hearing what the Whirlpool Chinhao had just said, and then Whirlpool Chinhao also walked out of the cubicle and walked towards the counter. Ding! The release thinks, "Eat with Chun Musa, reward 1000 gold coins." When Maelstrom Chinhao heard what the system had just said, he nodded with a smile on his face, and then thought to himself, "Damn, what's wrong with this again? He's really too good at arranging tasks for me. I plan to have a meal, so it's easy. Ding, pretty girls eat together, experience value +5. After hearing what the system just said, Maelstrom Chinhao was very happy again. Now he hadn't thought that no matter what he did now, he would be rewarded. It's like Maelstrom Chinhao is in this world, he can increase his strength without practicing or exercising. Now it seems that the entire Naruto world has no second person except Chen Hoke. This is also the plug-in of Maelstrom Chinhao. Chapter 32, A Bottle of Milk and a Bottle of Juice. Hello, I want a bottle of milk and a bottle of juice. Whirlpool Chinhao said with a smile to the waiter inside after arriving at the front desk. The waiter nodded with a smile after hearing what the Whirlpool Chinhao had just said, then turned around and brought Whirlpool Chinhao a bottle of milk and a bottle of juice. "Hello, this is the milk and juice you ordered." The waiter also said to Whirlpool Chinhao very politely. After receiving the milk and juice, Maelstrom Chinhao nodded with a smile, and then said, "Thank you." At this time, Whirlpool Chinhao took a bottle of milk and a bottle of juice, walked slowly, and returned to his compartment. "Musa, I don't know what you usually like to drink, so I took a bottle of milk and a bottle of juice. Watch and drink it. Give me the rest." Maelstrom Chinhao took the milk and juice. After placing it on the table, he sat down and said with a smile to Chun Musa, "Okay, thank you, how, I just drink milk, I rarely drink drinks." Chun Musa smiled after hearing what Wuxi Chinhao just said. Nodded, then said. At this moment, Chun Musa suddenly thought of something, and then said to Maelstrom Chinhao, "Yes, haha, should we go to school the day after tomorrow? It's boring to live at home these days, always thinking hurry up and go to school." After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao nodded with a smile, and then said, "Yes, we will report to school the day after tomorrow." "That haha, are you really not afraid to go to school? Those things you have experienced before really have no effect on you, I really didn't mean to say this on purpose." Chun Musa was very worried at this time and said how said. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao remembered the scene where he was laughed at by his classmates and bullied by his classmates. At this moment, his brows lightly frowned. "Don't worry, Musa, this time is different. And from now on, no one can bully me. I will definitely make those who bullied me pay the price. You go to school this time. Just wait to see me shine." Maelstrom Chenhao was very confident when he spoke, at least he has a system now. If Maelstrom Chenhao would still be bullied in this situation, then he would really become a waste. If he was stuck in his hand and worked, it would be a pity if he didn't succeed. Chun Muzi saw the determined expression on Wuxi Chenhao's face. He was also very happy at this time. He hadn't seen Wuxi Chenhao in such a mood for a long time. Well, if this is the case, then I will wait for you to shine in school. I believe what you say, I also know that you are a trustworthy person. Cheers. Chun Muzi saw the whirlpool at this time, the expression on Chenhao's face, and then determined that what he said was the truth, then said with a smile on his face. Cheers. In this way, Whirlpool Chenhao held a glass of juice in his hand, and Chun Muzi held a glass of milk in his hand. After they touched the glass, they drank it. I have to say that the two of them are really fun. Chapter 33, Giveaway. Hello, the meal you ordered is here. Just after Wuxi Chenhao and Chun Muzi finished their drinks, the meal they just ordered has already arrived. Okay, thank you, just put it here. Chun Muzi said to the waiter with a smile at this moment. After putting all the dishes on the table, the waiter exited outside the cubicle, and then said with a smile to the two of them, please take your time. Wow, it smells good. This is the first time I have come to eat at this rotisserie. I don't know how they taste here, but smelling them, it feels very delicious. We are also quite stunned. Hurry up and eat it. Wuxi Chenhao smelled the scent of the food at this moment, and said with a smile on his face. Chun Muzi nodded with a smile after hearing what Wuxi Chenhao had just said. Then the two of them picked up their own tableware and started to eat the food on the table. Unsurprisingly, these foods are really delicious. I remember this store. If we have a chance in the future, let's come to this store for dinner. Chun Muzi tasted a few at this time dish, then said with a smile. After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded with a smile, and said, okay, no problem. In this way, the two of them ate in this small restaurant for a long time, talking and laughing. In the end, Chun Muzi was still a little bit full, but she didn't show it. Okay, I'm full, are you full? Muzi. Whirlpool Chenhao said with a smile to Chun Muzi as he wiped his mouth with a napkin. Chun Muzi rang for 2 or 3 seconds after hearing what Wuxi Chenhao had just said, and then replied, well, I'm full too. I have to say that his food is still very delicious, and the portions are very generous. Maelstrom Chenhao didn't think much after hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, and then nodded with a smile on his face. Okay, then you take a rest here, I'll do some calculations. Whirlpool Chenhao slowly stood up while speaking, then walked out of the cubicle and came to the front desk. Chun Muzi turned his head to watch him leave here and walked to the front desk after seeing that Wuxi Chenhao had just left the cubicle. Hey, this kind of taste is really too uncomfortable. I have not eaten enough, but I just want to say that I am full. Forget it, wait for a while and eat something else when I get home. Let people see my true appetite. Chun Muzi looked at Maelstrom Chenhao who was checking out, and then thought silently in his heart. Soon Maelstrom Chenhao had paid all the money, and then walked slowly, returned to the cubicle and sat down. Muzi, here, this is a gift from this store. It said that this is our first visit, so I gave us a plate of snacks. You can eat, I'm full. Maelstrom Chenhao sat after coming down. He put a plate of snacks in front of Chun Muzi. Really? Then I'm not welcome. While Chun Muzi spoke, she also picked up her own tableware and began to eat the snacks on the small plate. Whirlpool Chenhao looked at Chun Muzi who was eating snacks, and then thought with a smile on his face, fool, if you don't have enough to eat, you have to say that you are full. Chapter 34, Eat Slowly. But I really admire you. You can eat better than I am, and I can still maintain my perfect figure, but it's really not easy. Whirlpool Chenhao looked at Chun Mu who was eating snacks. Zi thought silently in his heart. In fact, When Wuxi Chenhao asked Chun Muzi if she was full, she knew that she was not full, because at that time Chun Muzi thought about it for 2 or 3 seconds. At this time, Wuxi Chenhao was already aware of Chun Mu. The child is not full. Because of this, Whirlpool Chenhao bought a plate of snacks when he was at the front desk. I have to say that Maelstrom Chenhao's observation ability is really very strong, and he is also very empathetic. Okay, don't eat so fast. Just ate so many things. Eat slowly. No one will grab you. When Wuxi Chenhao saw Chun Muzi eating faster, he said softly to her. Chun Muzi blushed immediately after hearing what Wuxi Chenhao had just said, and also slowed down. Oh, oops, patronizing eating, I didn't expect to sit in front of him like Hao, it's really shameful. Oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't mind. Chun Muzi lowered at this time blushing, thought silently in my heart. After a 2-second pause, Chun Muzi slowly raised her head, then blushed and whispered to the Whirlpool Chenhao, sorry, super good, I just lost my mind. I didn't think of the snacks in this store. It's so delicious, and then I didn't care about my image. It was really embarrassing just now. No, I have to say that the way you eat when you eat is really cute. Okay, you can eat slowly. I won't fight with you. Maelstrom Chenhao said to Chun at this moment. Muzi, I said with a smile. When Chun Muzi heard that Wuxi Chenhao just said that she looked very cute while eating, her face instantly blushed. At this moment, Chun Muzi blushed, lowered her head slowly, and began to eat the plate of small snacks in front of her again, but this time she ate very slowly. Ding, the host is considerate, took care of the young lady on the opposite side, rewarded 100 gold coins, charm +2. System, you are really too naughty. After hearing what the system had just said in his mind, Vortex Chenhao thought to himself. Whirlpool Chenhao looked at it for a while, Chun Muzi who had a snack, then turned his head and looked out the window with a smile, looking at the people on the road outside. To be honest, I really like this little girl now. I must make up my mind now and let him be my wife in the future. I couldn't find a beautiful girl in my previous life. Now I am different. I must protect her well, don't let him have anything to do here. Maelstrom Chenhao looked at the flow of people outside the window, and then thought silently in his heart. I have to say that Chun Muzi is really cute. She looks very beautiful every day, and she has a very good figure. The convex places are convex and the concave places are concave. There is no extra fat on the body. Moreover, her big eyes, delicate face, and pointed chin, the whole feeling is very pure. If Maelstrom Chenhao didn't like her yet, then he was really a big straight man. Chapter 35, Like Children. By the way, Hao, I remember, will your auntie have a baby in these few days? Chun Muzi suddenly thought of something at this moment, and then whispered to Maelstrom Chenhao. After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao came back to his senses, and then said to her with a smile, yes, it's not wrong. I also accompanied my aunt and uncle to the hospital this morning. Physically, the baby will be born in a few days. Chun Muzi nodded with a smile after hearing what Mao Chenhao had just said, and then said, it turns out that it is. I really like children very much. I wonder if it's a boy or a girl. It's a boy. Earlier, they checked the child's gender. He is a boy. Now he is very healthy and he can be born after a few days. By the way, his name is Naruto Uzumaki. Chenhao said with a smile to Chun Muzi at this moment. Naruto Uzumaki is really a very good name. I don't know how he looks like. I really hope that he can grow up happily. Chun Muzi was hearing Uzumaki. After what Chenhao had just said, he ate a snack while whispering. After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao frowned, and then thought to himself, grow up happily? This is really impossible. When Naruto was born, the drunkard has already been sealed in his body, and the future will really not be so easy. Fortunately, it is here now. If I didn't have me, he would be alone after he was born. I don't want him to be an orphan after he was born. Can he be like me? Just like Maelstrom Jinhao thought, everyone's help is weakest when giving birth, and it is also the time when the tail beast is the easiest to break through. When Uzumaki Jinhao watched Naruto in the past, he knew that it was very difficult for people to assist in giving birth. If there were no other people to testify, he would really lose his life. Naruto is not only an anime here in Uzumaki Jinhao, he is also a kind of belief. He has seen big since he was a child. Forget it, even if I can't change the reality, I can make Wu Zuming feel like a family member. I can still do this. I must treat him well, and can he keep him rebellious? At this moment, Wuxi Jinhao vowed to himself that he would protect Naruto Wuxi. Okay, let's go after I have eaten. Chun Musa wiped his mouth at this moment, and then said softly to Maelstrom Jinhao. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Jinhao nodded with a smile, and then walked out of the barbecue restaurant with Chun Musa with his own things. I have to say that the outside air is really refreshing. Everything I smell in the rotisserie is smoky. To be honest, I really don't like this smell. Chun Musa was walking out. After the rotisserie, he sniffed the fresh air outside, and then said with a smile to the whirlpool Jinhao next to him. No matter where you look at it, you can see that Chun Musa is a very educated girl, and she likes to be clean, likes to dress herself, and leads a very delicate life every day. She rarely eats such very greasy things. Had it not been for Maelstrom Jinhao to dine with her, she wouldn't have come to such a place to eat. This shows how much she likes Maelstrom Jinhao, but she dare not show it. Chapter 36, Trouble Again. I just ate so much, let's take a walk and go home. Maelstrom Jinhao said to Chun Musa, who was next to him at this moment. Chun Musa nodded with a smile after hearing what Mao Jinhao had just said, and then said, okay, let's go for a walk. Anyway, if you eat so much and don't exercise, it will become fatty. Maelstrom Jinhao suddenly wanted to laugh after hearing what Chun Musa had just said, but he was held back. He didn't expect Chun Musa to say something like that. It really feels very cute. After speaking, the two of them walked to other places side by side. Musa, what do you usually do? I haven't seen you for a few days. Have you stayed at home all the time? At this moment, Makoto Jinhao turned his head and smiled at Chun Musa. Said. I haven't been at home these few days. My aunt has a child at home. I usually go to him to play. I don't have anything to do at home. Besides, I also like children very much. Chun Musa at this moment, he turned his head to Whirlpool Jinhao and said with a smile on his face. It turns out to be like this, you don't usually see it, you really like children very much. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Makoto Jinhao nodded with a smile, and then whispered. In this world, every girl loves to laugh, she will be very cute, and girls who like children very much, she will not be bad. Boss, do you see if the person in front of you is Wuxi Jinhao? At this moment, 3 people appeared more than 10 meters behind the whirlpool Jinhao. Hey, when you look at this figure, you know that he is Maelstrom Jinhao. Let's go over and teach him. He beat me so badly that day. You must beat him well today. Don't you too? Let's drop the chain again. Their boss, Jing Yulong, whispered to the other 2 younger brothers at this moment. Vortex Jinhao didn't even know that someone was already in trouble. At this moment, there was a voice in Vortex Jinhao's mind. Ding, the host who is checking is hostile behind him, release the task, give a lesson to the 3 people behind him. After hearing what the system had just said in his mind, Maelstrom Jinhao thought silently in his heart, I really didn't expect it, there will be trouble again so soon. This time I must let you take a good look at who is talented. It's the king. Oh, this is not Xiao Hao, what's the matter? Come out with my girlfriend. Jing Yulong suddenly quickened his pace at this moment, ran to the front of Maelstrom Chenhao and Chun Muzi, and said with a sarcasm. "Don't bark, bark again, I will tear your dog's mouth." After hearing what Jing Yulong had just said, Mason Chenhao became angry all of a sudden, and then said loudly to him. "How?" Chun Muzi was very worried at this moment that Maelstrom Chenhao would be beaten, then grabbed his arm and whispered. "Don't worry, Muzi, I will be fine. Didn't I say to go to school to shine again? No need to wait until school, now I will let you see my current strength, don't worry about me." Hao grabbed Chun Muzi's hand at this moment, then put his mouth to Chun Muzi's ear, and whispered. Chun Muzi's face turned red when she felt her hand being grabbed by the Whirlpool Chenhao, and then Whirlpool Chenhao's mouth ran to her ears, her face flushed a little bit more than before. After Chun Muzi broke away his hand from Maelstrom Chenhao's, he lowered his head and said in a low voice, "I see, Hao, be careful." After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded with a smile on his face, then turned his head and said loudly to Shanjing Yulong, "There are so many people here, let's go to the forest in front, come on, give you a good beating and make you remember." After talking about the whirlpool, Chen Hao took Chun Muzi's hand and slowly walked towards the forest in front. Chapter 37, Very Calm. "Hao, are you sure to defeat Shanjing Yulong? Do you need me to help you?" Chun Muzi said to him in the novel next to Maelstrom Chenhao. After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao shook his head with a smile, and then said to her, "It's okay, don't worry, I'm sure to defeat him. I still believe in myself, you just watch it right by." Although Maelstrom Chenhao said this, Chun Muzi was still a little worried, at least she knew the strength of Maelstrom Chenhao very well. "Boy, you beat me. This time is different. I really don't know what happened to you last time. Suddenly your strength became so strong, but this time I must make you look good. I said I will definitely let you pay the same price." Jing Yulong said with a smile to the Whirlpool Chenhao in front of him after he arrived at the battlefield. After hearing what Shan Jing Yulong had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao shook his head with a disdainful smile and said, "You kid, I really don't know what to say about you. The last time I beat you your parents can't recognize them anymore, and this time I will beat them so that your parents can't recognize them. Before you were always bullying me, now it's time for me to turn over. You remember that you can knock you down this time, and you can still do it in the future." Chun Muzi, who was standing next to him, had a twist in her heart after hearing what Mao Chenhao had just said. At this time, she also noticed that her expression like Guo Chenjao was very calm, and she was also very confident this time. But rest assured, she very much believed that what Mao Chenhao said just now was true. "Boss, let's not talk nonsense with him, the last time he beat you so badly, this time you must get it back, but you can't let him be so arrogant anymore. I really don't know what he did. What kind of confidence?" One of the younger brothers of Jing Yulong turned his head and said with a smile to his boss at this moment. After hearing what his little brother had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao smiled disdainfully, and then whispered, "It's really an out-and-out dog. It's really shameless. It's really ridiculous to post it upside down to be a puppy for someone else." At this moment, Shan Jing Yulong turned his head and looked at Maelstrom Chenhao. After that, he became angry all of a sudden. He hadn't thought that at this moment Maelstrom Chenhao could still laugh. "You two go up first, check out his strength." At this moment, Shan Jing Yulong ordered his two little brothers to go up and attack Maelstrom Chenhao, and observe first by himself. After hearing what his boss had just said, his two little brothers turned their heads to look at Maelstrom Chenhao, and then took out their weapons and ran towards Maelstrom Chenhao. "Boy, you must make you look good this time," one of the younger brothers said loudly as they flew towards Maelstrom Chenhao. Maelstrom Chenhao didn't rush when he saw the two of them rushing towards him, and smiled and took out his weapon, which was scarlet. "Anyway, these two dogs are also life, let's just relax a little bit, otherwise it will be troublesome if you kill them." Maelstrom Chenhao looked at the weapon in his hand, and then thought with a smile in his heart. Chapter 38, Don't be distracted. You two should act lightly. I'm just asking you two to explore his strength. I will go out to beat him personally in a while. Jing Yulong shouted at his two at this moment. The brother said. After hearing what Shan Jing Yulong had just said, Wuxi Chenhao gradually smiled. At this moment, he clenched the weapon in his hand and rushed towards the two men. Ping pong pong. For an instant, Wuxi Chenhao fought hard with those two men. No matter what, those two men couldn't attack Wuxi Chenhao. Every time they attacked, Maelstrom Chenhao was able to block their attacks. What's going on? How could it be like this? One of his subordinates felt inexplicable at this time, and then said loudly, he did not believe that Maelstrom Chenhao had such strength. After seeing that subordinate's distraction, Maelstrom Chenhao rushed in front of him and punched him in the stomach. By the way, he whispered, don't be distracted on the battlefield at any time, or my life may be lost at any time. After being punched by the whirlpool Chenhao, the little brother opened his mouth to spit out a mouthful of blood, then flew out all of a sudden and touched a big tree. This is impossible. You can't have such strength. You must have used something to achieve this level of strength. You must have cheated. The remaining little brother, see your own again. After the friend was fisted and flew out by Uzumaki Chenhao, he instantly felt uneasy, and then said in a panic. I have to say that the IQs of the two of you are really worrying. Even if I use something to make my strength reach this level, that is my business. But now I am standing here, and there is no cheating at all, and it is normal for you not to believe it. After hearing what the man said just now, Maelstrom Chenhao said with a smile on his face. At this moment, Maelstrom Chenhao put away his weapons, and now there is no need for him to use weapons anymore, because he can beat these people to the ground with bare hands. Ding! Defeat an enemy, experience points plus 100. Ding! Establish a prestige, reputation value plus 10. At this moment, when that little brother didn't know what to do, Maelstrom Chenhao had already arrived in front of him. Spiral pill. After the whirlpool Chenhao finished speaking, a blue ball appeared in the center of the palm of his right hand, and it was spinning all the time, and the surrounding air also formed a whirlpool. Maelstrom Chenhao's spiral pill was taught to him by his adoptive father Bo Feng Shuman. Because his strength was very weak, he did not make any progress for more than a year, but after the system, his spiral the power of the pill has increased a lot. After the spiral pill was completely formed, Wuxi Chenhao pushed the spiral pill in his hand to the little brother's abdomen. At this moment, all the little brother's clothes began to twist. Ah, it hurts! The little brother yelled after he felt the pain in his abdomen, and the tears were already coming out, but even like this, Mason Chenhao did not stop. After 5 seconds, the spiral pill in Wuxi Chenhao's hand slowly dissipated. At this moment, the little brother also flew back, hitting a big rock, and vomiting a lot of blood. The clothes are also completely torn. Chapter 39, Physical Exhaustion. Ding! Defeat the two and reward 100 gold coins. Ding! Experience points plus 10. After hearing what the system had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao patted his hand and looked at the one-person mountain and dragon on the scene. Okay, very good, it's really great. I didn't expect your kid's strength to grow to this level. It's really not easy. Thinking back to you a year ago, you are still bullied by us every day. After seeing that his two younger brothers were defeated by Maelstrom Chenhao again, Jing Yulong clapped his hands and walked forward with a smile. How is it? You are getting a little impatient, right? Come over and play a good fight with me so that you can recognize the gap between the two of us now. Maori Chenhao heard that the mountain view Yulong just said after speaking, he said to him with a smile, and then beckoned to him. At this time, Chun Muzi, who was watching all the time, saw all the passing just now. At this moment, she completely believed what Maori Chenhao had just said. She didn't know what was going on right now, but he believed that these strengths were obtained by Maelstrom Chenhao alone. Although Shanjing Yulong is still young now, his strength is already very impressive. After all, this is because his father, his family, has been trained by elites all the year round, so his strength is also quite remarkable. However, it is precisely because he is backed by a famous family that he does not study hard every day. As a result, his current strength has not been for several months. How has he improved? So when he was at home, his father would beat him every day. Taught him, let him study and practice ninjutsu, but he just didn't listen. I have to say that no matter where, there is such a grandiose son. Oh, it seems that he hasn't recognized it clearly now. I in his strength, but after a while I will let him know that my current strength is beyond his reach. But anyway, he still has talent. If he was not born in that kind of family, his strength is not necessarily weaker than mine now. Maelstrom Chenhao thought silently in his heart at this time. At this moment, the foot of a dragon at the foot of the mountain suddenly disappeared in place with a sudden force and appeared in front of the whirlpool Chenhao. At the same time, Maelstrom Chenhao was not jealous, he immediately hid next to him as soon as he tried hard. Then the two of them used force at the same time and bumped into each other. Vortex Chenhao used his arms to block the foot that Shanjing Yulong kicked over, and Shanjing Yulong also blocked the fist that Vortex Chenhao attacked with his hand. When the scene was very embarrassing, the two of them took a step back at the same time, but they attacked in an instant. I have to say that this is really a very fierce fight. Time passed by, and the physical strength of Jing Yulong also gradually disappeared. The speed is relatively slower than before. What's wrong? Why didn't you continue to attack? Is it because you are exhausted? And I just found out that your speed is much slower. Jing Yulong saw the already panting Jing Yulong. Smiled very proudly, at this time he was still very relaxed. How is it possible? How can your strength as a kid be so strong? It is really too unimaginable. What have you experienced these days? Jing Yulong looked at this moment in disbelief. Looking at Maelstrom Chenhao, he was completely exhausted at this time. Chapter 40, Grandiose Son. In fact, there is nothing, it's just you. To be honest, you are really very smart. If you train hard these months, you will definitely be better than me, but you just like to play very much, which leads to there is so much difference between my strength and my strength. Maori Chenhao said to him with a smile after hearing what Jing Yulong had just said. At this time, Yulong Mountain View was going crazy, he didn't have the time to listen to Maelstrom Chenhao's nonsense here. All he was thinking about now was how to defeat Maelstrom Chenhao. Damn it, I won't say it. I don't believe this is your true strength. You were so weak, how can you become so strong now? There must be a problem. I must defeat you. Shanjing Yulong thought silently. At this time, his hand had slowly taken out the weapon. He couldn't take care of that much now, and now he only wanted to defeat Maelstrom Chenhao. In an instant, Shan Yulong jumped up from the ground, and then disappeared into the air. This kid is really unwilling to give up. Doesn't he have to hit him all over the floor to find teeth? It seems that if you don't beat him today, he won't give up. Maelstrom Chenhao was seeing the disappearance. After Yulong the mountain view in the sky, I thought to myself silently. In any case, Shanjing Yulong is still very talented, and its speed is too fast. I rely on. Maelstrom Chenhao didn't notice that there was an extra wound on his arm. Now he didn't even think about it. It must have been cut on it by Shanjing Yulong. Damn, I didn't expect this kid to be so fast. It's not the time to be distracted. You have to find out his trajectory immediately, otherwise it will be in trouble. Maelstrom Chenhao clutched his injured arm, then carefully observing the surroundings. Ho! Chun Muzi, who was watching nearby, had noticed the injured arm of Wuxi Chenhao. At this time, he was very worried that Wuxi Chenhao would not be able to cope with it, but at this moment he found that Wuxi Chenhao was standing there and closed his eyes. Very curious. At this moment, Wuxi Chenhao stood there and closed his eyes, listening carefully to the sounds around him, and now he found that there was wind around him. Obviously this is the sound of Jing Yulong shuttled around him. In fact, he only needs to figure out where Jing Yulong will appear next time to defeat him, but this is not a very easy task. Good boy, I don't usually see you how to practice. The speed is so fast and the strength is so weak. It really doesn't meet the actual situation. Whirlpool Chenhao thought to himself as he listened carefully to the surrounding movement. As long as I'm fast enough, you won't be able to catch it. I see what you can do now, I will definitely make you unsightly. Jing Yulong thought to himself as he ran fast. At this time, Shan Jing Yulong didn't understand Maelstrom Chenhao at all, nor did he understand his strength. Even if he was running at the fastest speed, he would also be caught by Maelstrom Chenhao. Okay, you are finished, I now know where you will attack me next time, let you take a good look at my strength, let you have a long experience. The corners of the mouth rose slightly. At this moment, Shan Jing Yulong suddenly stopped, that is, behind the Whirlpool Chenhao, trying to attack the Whirlpool Chenhao here. But what he never expected was that just after Shan Jing Yulong stopped, Huo Chenhao turned around and looked at him, which made Shan Jing Yulong completely unexpected. Chapter 41, Impossible. Surprise, why didn't you think of it, wandering around, making my head stunned, it's time to get rid of you. Mason Chenhao looked at the surprised mountain view in front of him. Said with a smile. At this time, the blue spiral pill of the wardrobe appeared in the palm of Wuxi Chenhao's palm. Before Wu Shan Yulong could recover, he pushed the spiral pill in his hand to his abdomen. Impossible, it is impossible that everything is fake. Ah! Jing Yulong still didn't believe it at this time, it was all true, but there was no way, there is no sensation in his abdomen. The spiral pill in Wuxi Chenhao's hand slowly dissipated. At this moment, he pushed forward hard, and blasted the mountain view Yulong out. After flying out, Shan Jing Yulong bumped into the biggest stone, and slammed to the ground, unable to move. At this time, Chun Muzi, who was watching the battle next to him, did not believe that the Vortex Chenhao in front of him was the Vortex Chenhao who needed his own protection. At this time, he has fully grown up. In less than a few years, he may become the strongest ninja. My God, what exactly has He Hao experienced in the past few days? How come his strength has grown to such a level, it is really incredible. Chun Muse's mood now is mixed. She didn't know what was going on, but she was still very happy, after all, the people she liked had slowly grown up. After watching the three men he defeated fell motionless on the ground, Maelstrom Chenhao clapped his hands and said with a smile, I really don't know how high the sky is. It's ridiculous to teach me with this strength. If I see you doing something bad in the future, I will definitely make you pay a tragic price. After talking about the whirlpool, Chenhao tidied up his clothes, turned around and walked towards Chun Muzi with a smile on his face. Muzi, what's the matter? Are you still surprised? Okay, well, it's not too early for us to go home. After Makoto Chenhao came to Chun Muzi's side, she saw her very surprised expression, then touched her head, then smiled and said to her. Chun Muzi looked at the Vortex Chenhao in front of him. At this moment, he couldn't believe that the Vortex Chenhao in front of him was the He Hao she had protected. Okay, well, you have already seen my strength, and I only used 70% of my strength just now, it's my turn to protect you in the future. Maelstrom Chenhao touched her head at this moment. Then he said to her with a smile. Chun Muzi gradually recovered after hearing what Wuxi Chenhao had just said, and then said with a smile, How, I have to say that the battle just now really surprised me. I didn't expect your strength to grow so fast, it's really amazing. Okay, let's go home. From now on, I hope you will become stronger and stronger. From now on, it will be your turn to protect me. You are no longer the original vortex that was protected by me. You must go your own in the future. Road. I believe that one day you will become a hero in the village. Chun Muzi and Maelstrom Chinhao said with smiles when they walked back. Chapter 42, Develop Relationship. By the way, Hao and the three of them, don't we need to take them back? Look at their injuries. At this moment, Chun Muzi turned his head and took a look at the one lying motionless behind them. The three people whispered to Uzumaki Chinhao. When Maelstrom Chinhao heard what Chun Muzi had just said, he shook his head with a smile, and then said to her, "It's okay, don't worry, I didn't use my best just now. They just passed out in a coma and stayed for a while. They will want to come over on their own. Then they can go home. Don't worry about them. Besides, I don't want to kill anyone." Chun Muzi nodded with a smile after hearing what Maelstrom Chinhao had just said, and then walked back to the village with Maelstrom Chinhao. It was almost evening now, the sun had slowly set, and there were still a lot of people shopping in the village at this time. I have to say that these people are living too leisurely. Okay, I'm going home. If you have nothing to do, then go home and rest. It's been a day since today. When the two of them arrived at Chun Muzi's house, Chun Muzi said to the Whirlpool Chinhao with a smile. Maelstrom Chinhao nodded with a smile after hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, and then said to her, Okay, I see, you go home soon. After you get home, you will be fine. Take a break and prepare to start school the day after tomorrow. Okay, I see, you go home quickly, remember to eat more food after you go back, today is not easy. See you at school the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow I have something to go to my aunt's house to look after the children. Chun Muzi said to Maelstrom Chinhao with a smile at this moment. Whirlpool Chinhao and Chun Muzi said hello, then walked slowly and returned to their home. Today is really cool, and I taught those three people again, and still in front of Muzi. Maelstrom Chinhao thought silently in his heart as he walked home. Ding! The task has been completed, the reward will be sent to your mailbox, please check it in time. The reward content is, Gold Coins 1000, Experience Value plus 100, Chakra plus 50. After hearing what the system had just said in his mind, Maelstrom Chinhao nodded with a smile, and now he had another chance to draw a lottery. It's really great, there seems to be a devil fruit in the mailbox, wait for tomorrow, let's see what system he is. By the way, we will draw another lottery tomorrow, hoping to get a better thing. Whirlpool Chinhao thought silently while walking. Ding! The host succeeded in causing Chun Muzi deer to bump into each other, with a charm value of plus 10. After hearing what the system had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao was stunned, and then stood motionless. Unexpectedly, it is really my peach blossom luck today. It seems that I will have more performance in front of Muzi in the future. Maybe we can develop relationships in the future. Haha. Maelstrom Chinhao stood there. And then thought very happy in my heart. After passing through the Maelstrom Chinhao to the Naruto world, after experiencing so many things, she also developed a little emotion for Chun Muzi, and earlier Chun Muzi had already liked Maelstrom Chinhao, but as a girl, she did not. I am embarrassed to show it. I am so happy today. After I go back, I must eat more food and reward myself. I believe that it will not take long for me to grow up quickly, and no one will dare to bully me again. Up. At this time, the Whirlpool Chinhao walked happily again, and he was very happy at this time. After being bullied by others for more than a year, now I finally have a chance to come back, and I have also received the love of other girls, how can I be unhappy? Chapter 43, Depressed. I really didn't expect to be so happy today, but anyway, my current strength is only enough to send those children away. If compared with those strong, my strength is really like the weak. Yes, I still have to hurry up and improve my strength. Maelstrom Chinhao thought silently in his heart when he walked back to his home immediately. Now Maelstrom Chinhao's strength is Xian Ren, but it won't take long for him to upgrade to Zhong Ren. Anyway, his current experience value is about to reach the upgrade stage, and if nothing else, it will be 2 days. Now I always feel that I am full of power and I am getting more and more powerful. I should be able to be promoted to Zhongren immediately. Wait till tonight and see if there is any way to be promoted to Zhongren. While speaking, Uzumaki Chenhao had already arrived at Bo Feng Shumen's door. In the past few days, Maelstrom Chenhao plans to live in the house of Bo Feng Shumen and his wife. Naruto will be born in a few days. At that time, it will be impossible to accompany the 4 generations of couples. When Uzumaki Naruto is born, the 4 generations of couples will die in the hands of Kyuubi. I don't know what's wrong, I'm very dull now. It may be because the 9 tails are about to invade Konoha. Forget it, I'm not thinking about these things now. I must find a way to promote to Zhongnan tonight. Maelstrom Chenhao moved his steps at this moment and walked into the house. Uncle Watergate, Aunt Juxina, I'm back, are you at home? Maelstrom Chenhao yelled out after walking into the courtyard. At this time, Bo Feng Shumen walked out of the house, and said to Uzumaki Chenhao with a smile, Okay, stop yelling, we are all at home, you Aunt Juxina is already sleeping. Yes, she is a little tired today. If you want to eat for a while, let me make it for you. So it's like this. Well, Uncle Watergate, I'm not very hungry, or I won't eat at night, I just ate a little outside when I was out with my friends. Feng Shumen said with a smile just after what he said. After hearing what Wuxi Chenhao had just said, Bo Feng Watergate nodded with a smile, and then said to him, Well, if this is the case, then I won't cook anymore and I'm not very hungry. If there is nothing to do, I will go back to my room to rest. Today I am also very tired. After hearing what Bo Feng Shumen had just said, the Whirlpool Chenhao nodded with a smile, and then Bo Feng Shumen returned to his room and lay on the bed and began to rest. I have the last day tomorrow, what should I do better? School will start the day after tomorrow. When you arrive at school, you must let those who despise me take a good look. Maelstrom Chenhao also returned at this time. My room, and sitting on the bed, thought silently in my heart. Thinking about the whirlpool, Chenhao lay on the bed. At this moment, he looked at the ceiling above his head and didn't know what was thinking. Time flies so fast, I met Kyuubi invading Konoha village in a blink of an eye. Now I really hope that I can do something to save the lives of the 4 generations of couples. Chenhao looked at the ceiling, then thought of it silently. Chapter 44, Konoha Village. Now think about that, I still have a lot of opponents in this world, and they all have very good ninjutsu. The most representative of the Uchiha family is the writing round eyes. Whether it is Uchiha Itachi or Uchiha Shisui, or Uchiha Itachi's younger brother Uchiha Sasuke, their blood round eyes are very powerful. The Whirlpool Chenhao was lying on the bed, thinking carefully in his heart. Just like what Uzumaki Chenhao just said, the Uchiha family is also very powerful in this world, and their unique family is the writing wheel eyes. And as a fan of Naruto, everyone should know how powerful the blood wheel eyes are in the later stage of Naruto. What kind of suffocation isn't a key and kaleidoscope? Think about the ninjutsu that blows up the sky. Uzumaki Chenhao can't help but sigh softly. I have to say that these tricks are still there. It's really annoying. And not only is the Uchiha family difficult to deal with, but the Hyuga family is also more powerful in the later period. The most symbolic thing is their pure white eyes. At present, the village of Konoha is relatively peaceful. It is also in the late stage of the Third Ninja War. Not long after the victory of the Battle of Kikyo Mountain, the people in Konoha village are living a period of very peaceful development. And at this time, Konoha village had already stood at the pinnacle of the ninja world, and no country village had any ability to fight Konoha for the time being. But at this time, as a Naruto fan, Uzumaki Chenhao, of course, knew that this year Naruto and Sasuke and their new Konoha new protagonists were about to be born, and the Nine Tails invasion was also about to happen. The untimely death of the 4 generations of Naruto Wave Feng Shumen and the huge losses inflicted by Nine-Tailed Deer Aokiya village, coupled with the legendary Sunin's departure one after another, put Konoha village into an unprecedented combat crisis once again. I have to say the tail invasion of the pastoral village still has a very big influence. Whirlpool Chinhao, who was lying on the bed, thought silently in his heart. I have to say that very shocking things have happened in this period of time. Whether it's Bofeng Watergate's raid on the grain and grass of the country of flames and defeating Iwanan's invasion, or the Uchiha family of Uchiha's death in battle, Kakashi is therefore obtaining the riding wheel of the Uchiha family. These are all big things. I suddenly thought of Kakashi. After Kakashi obtained the blood wheel eyes, Kakashi's earth-shaking changes took place, and he also started a legendary career of copying ninjas here. When Uzumaki Chinhao thought of Kakashi, the corners of his mouth rose slightly. Now this Konoha village is a very peaceful place. No matter when it is, everyone will be smiling, only a few are out on missions, and the people who have just returned are a little frustrated. But even with this kind of peace, there will be many wars in the near future, most of which are due to people in the village. If nothing else, just Kuki invaded the village of Konoha and suffered a heavy loss. But fortunately, Konoha village has a lot of property and can rebuild the village in a short time, but their fourth generation of Hokage has been sacrificed anyway. Forget it, now is not the time to think about these things. Anyway, let's do what I should do at the time. And now I should also pay attention to my strength. If my strength is still improved so slowly, I am afraid it will be very slow in the future. Embarrassing. After speaking, the Whirlpool Chinhao closed his eyes and planned to rest. Chapter 45, Copy Fruit. Time passed slowly, and it was already evening in a blink of an eye. At this time, Maelstrom Chinhao also slowly woke up. Unknowingly, I slept for such a long time. Now I have to hurry up and practice. By the way, I almost forgot. I also got a fruit. I really don't know what kind of fruit it is. Let's take a look. Maybe it will convince me of my expectation. At this moment, Wuxi Chinhao suddenly thought that he still had a fruit, and then said in a low voice with a smile on his face. After speaking, Maelstrom Chinhao saw the fruit of ability in his mind, and then the fruit of ability appeared in Mason Chinhao's hands. At this moment, he found a small print on it. You can get the copy ability after eating the copy fruit. No matter what kind of trick your opponent uses, you can copy it in the first time. There is no need to practice by yourself. After reading that passage, Wuxi Chinhao was suddenly surprised. He had no idea that the ability he had obtained, and the fruit was so powerful, it was almost a fight with the blood wheel eyes. Damn, no, I'm so lucky, I got the copy fruit all at once. This saves me a lot of effort. With this replication fruit, I am equivalent to having the blood wheel eye. Although there is no pupil technique, I can replicate the number of the opponent. This is also a very powerful thing. Maelstrom Chinhao is already very happy now. In Naruto world, if there is the ability to copy, it is really different. He can copy the opponent's player completely, which will make the opponent's player into difficulties. Great, I can't wait to eat this fruit now. Whirlpool Chinhao had already put the fruit in his mouth while speaking, and had to say that the fruit was really a bit big. But even if this fruit is in the Maelstrom Chinhao, he wants to eat it as soon as possible and possess this ability to replicate as soon as possible. Sure enough, Maelstrom Chinhao ate the duplicate fruit into his stomach in 2 or 3 bites. Damn it, it was really unpalatable. No wonder I said that the fruit was very unpalatable when I watched One Piece. This time I finally realized it. It's really unpalatable. But what can I do even if it is like this? What? Anyway, I'm about to have the ability to replicate, haha. After eating the fruit, Wuxi Chinhao frowned and said in a low voice. However, just after 5 seconds passed, Maelstrom Chinhao's heart suddenly began to ache. He didn't expect to go through this process at all. The pain was really unbearable. Damn it, it really hurts. Ding, the host is suffering from pain, physical fitness +1 +1. Damn, no, at this moment, the system is still able to drive for me, which is really unexpected. Anyway, this is a little benefit for me. It keeps hurting like this. His physical fitness has been increasing. Whirlpool Chinhao whispered while suffering. In this way, Uzumaki Chinhao was already curled up on the bed, and it took 10 minutes to stop slowly. Damn, it really hurts me to death. Just now, I have to say that this kind of fruit ability is really too painful. If I give me another fruit in the future, I will definitely not eat it again, I swear never to. I don't want to endure this kind of pain. After wiping the sweat from his cheek, the whispered Chinhao whispered with a smile on his face. Chapter 46, 4 Buns. I didn't expect the time to pass very quickly. It was almost evening in a blink of an eye. There should be a lot of people outside at this point. Don't go out and just rest at home. Maelstrom Chinhao calmed down. After taking a look at his own mood, he whispered in the face of a smile. Ding! The host successfully merged the fruits of ability. Now the host successfully has the ability to replicate ninjutsu. At this moment, Maelstrom Chinhao was still very happy. After all, his current strength had improved a bit. So tired, I didn't expect the fusion ability, the fruit would be so painful. This is also the answer to that sentence, there is no sweetness without bitterness. At this time, Mason Chinhao lay on the bed again, closing closed eyes. Get a good night's sleep, get up tomorrow and go to Hyushin to continue training. After talking about Maelstrom Chinhao, he immediately fell asleep. I have to say that he is really tired today. At the same time, Chun Muzi, who had returned home, repeatedly couldn't fall asleep at home. I don't know why, it might be because of the reason why he went out with Maelstrom Chinhao today. Oh, what's wrong with me? Why can't I fall asleep when I go to bed? Now I am full of Whirlpool Shenhao, I shouldn't have liked him anymore. Chun Muzi was lying on the bed, his face flushed. Red, thought silently in my heart. I don't know if every girl in the world has this kind of psychology. In this way, the time of the night passed quickly, and the second day was approaching. The weather today is still relatively good, not so poisonous sun, some breeze blowing. It's so comfortable. I slept for such a long time last night, and it was very reliable. It must be a sunny day today. It is very suitable for training. After Wuxi Chinhao got up, he looked at the sun outside the window and faced him. Said with a smile. After talking about the whirlpool, Chinhao got out of bed, stretched his waist, walked to the bathroom, and started washing. Unexpectedly, Uncle Watergate and Aunt Juzine haven't gotten up yet, so I don't want to disturb them and go directly to the back mountain to train. After washing up, the whirlpool Chinhao walked out of the room and then came to the street. It is now in Konoha village. There are not many people in the morning. Only some elderly people get up early and take a walk in the street. The breakfast place is open, and there are many people eating in it. I'd better buy some food before going to Hyushin, so that I don't feel hungry again when I train there. Maelstrom Chinhao touched his stomach, then walked to a breakfast shop, and asked the boss. How much is the bun? After that, Mason Chinhao bought 4 steamed buns with different flavors. I have to say that the buns sold in this breakfast shop are big and cheap. I should be full with 4 of them. Maelstrom Chinhao looked at the buns in his hand and said with a smile. At this moment, the whirlpool Chinhao took the buns and happily walked towards the back mountain. The morning air in Konoha village is still so fresh, it's really great. When Uzumaki Chinhao came to the Hokage rock, he took a breath of fresh air, and then said with a smile. Uzumaki Chinhao stood on top of Hokage rock and looked down at Konoha village. Only at this time did he discover that Konoha village was very beautiful and peaceful. Chapter 47, Tread Water. Okay, don't talk about it anymore, let's go to train. After the whirlpool Chinhao finished speaking, he returned to Zaihe and put the bun on the stone. Let's practice treading water first, anyway, this item is also very needed later. If you don't learn the back now, if you encounter water warfare, it will be troublesome. After speaking, the whirlpool Chinhao was already eager to try. At this time, Uzumaki Chinhao closed his eyes tightly, and then tried to focus chakra on the center of his feet. After he felt that chakra was almost gathered, he tried to put one foot on the surface of the creek. At this moment, Whirlpool Chinhao had already placed one foot firmly on the surface of the water, and after feeling that he could stand on one foot, he slowly placed the other foot on the surface of the river. Now Maelstrom Chinhao had already made it clear that he was standing on the river, just when Maelstrom Chinhao was about to open his eyes. Wow! Unprepared, the whirlpool Chinhao sank into the water. And the water splashed on his face, making him unable to open his eyes. Damn, I thought I could succeed the first time. It seems that treading water is not so easy for a ninja to cultivate. After Mason Chinhao wiped the water off his face, he was silent in his heart. Uzumaki Chinhao recalled how Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke practiced treading water, and it took a week to gradually master them. To be honest, Maelstrom Chinhao is a person who refuses to admit defeat, and he is not willing to fail at any time. After the whirlpool Chinhao got up from the river, he tried again. 1 minute and 1 second passed. At this time, Whirlpool Chinhao had practiced treading water for almost 3 hours. Ha ha ha, I finally succeeded. Sure enough, the effort paid off. After dozens of failures, Maelstrom Chinhao finally succeeded in standing on the surface of the river, and firmly focused chakra on the soles of his feet. Sure enough, I now have the feeling of stepping on the real thing with my feet, much better than when I first tried it. I have to say that my chakra control ability is still very powerful. I still have the advantages. Chinhao was already happily running on the river. When the whirlpool Chinhao was able to concentrate chakra on the soles of his feet, he walked a few steps above the river. At that time, he was still a little uncomfortable and almost fell into the water. But after a dozen failures, he can now walk and run on the water. It's really great, the effort pays off. I have experienced more than 3 hours of time, and finally I have trained the basic skill of treading water. Whirlpool Chinhao had already retreated from the river surface while speaking, and sat on the stone. It seems that I not only have the plug-in, but also have the superhuman ability to control the chakra, which is a little genius. If it is to control the chakra ability, I am more convinced by the Hyuga clan. The chakra control of their family Li Na is one of the best in the ninja world. Uzumaki Chinhao said with a smile while sitting on the rock to rest. At this time, Wuxi Chinhao saw that the bun on the stone was the same bun he bought when he first came to Hyushan. I'm so hungry, let's eat 2 steamed buns first, wait for a while after training, and then eat the remaining 2. Whirlpool Chinhao could pick up the steamed buns and put them in his mouth while speaking. Eat. Chapter 48, Shadow Clone. It's delicious, I didn't expect this big bun to be so delicious. After eating the 2 big buns, Wuxi Chinhao said very happily. At this moment, the whirlpool Chinhao patted the soil on his body, then sat on the ground, leaning on the big stone and looking at the scenery in front of him. It's so beautiful. I didn't expect the scenery here to be so beautiful. Why haven't I found it before? Let's practice the shadow clone technique in a while. When Vortex Chinhao thought of practicing the already clone technique, he couldn't help but laugh. The original Maelstrom Chinhao was relatively weak, so he always failed when he practiced the shadow clone technique, and finally succeeded once. The clone that came out was always awkward, lacking in spirit, and was as bad as a mass of mud on the ground. Looking back on the first practice of Shadow Avatar, it was really ridiculous at that time. A avatar came out of the class and fell to the ground with no energy. Now thinking about it, it's true. It's embarrassing enough. Vortex Chinhao whispered with a smile on his face. But this time when school starts, I am different. I must let you take a good look at my shadow clone art and my strength. I must slap you in the face. Let you all look down on me before. Now I want you to be too high. Whirlpool Chinhao stood up again and walked under a big tree. The technique of shadow clone is a ninjutsu that every ninja should know, and the technique of shadow clone is a very practical ninjutsu. Whether it is one-to-many or one-to-one, it is very practical. After the whirlpool magic gun stood under the big tree, he sorted out his mood, and then cut and printed a shadow clone that was about the same size as himself. However, this shadow clone is somewhat different from the title of Maelstrom. Damn, no, although I am energetic, this physique is much fatter than me. No way, no, I have to start again. After Mason Chinhao finished speaking, he just appeared as a shadow Zi turned into a cloud of white mist and disappeared. Shadow clone art. Pang! Just after Wuxi Chinhao's hands were sealed, a cloud of white mist suddenly appeared beside him. After the white mist dissipated, a ninja who looked exactly like him appeared inside, but there was no spirit and his face was dejected. This time, it's okay. The physique is similar to mine, but the spirit is not good at all. After seeing the shadow clone next to him, Maelstrom Chinhao waved his hand in disgust, and then the shadow clone became once again the white mist disappeared. Sure enough, the shadow avatar technique is not as simple as I thought. I should practice more. If this continues, I will definitely fail again when the school starts. Let's practice more, but not with them. I am embarrassed again in front of me. Maelstrom Chinhao once again made up his mind. Time slowly lapsed, 2 hours passed again. At this time Maelstrom Chinhao could already clone into a perfect shadow clone. Shadow clone art. A cloud of white mist appeared next to Wuxi Chinhao, and then a shadow clone identical to him appeared inside. Haha, finally succeeded, my god, so happy. Maelstrom Chinhao said happily looking at the clone next to him. Ding, congratulations to the host for learning the shadow clone technique and rewarding 500 gold coins. After hearing what the system had just said, the Whirlpool Chinhao looked at the scenery in front of him with a smile, the majesty blowing his hair. Chapter 49, Very Lucky. Today is really a very beautiful day. I'm going to school tomorrow. I really hope to show those people a little color at school. Maelstrom Chinhao said with a smile at this moment. Now I have learned how to tread water, the shadow clone technique, and the ability to replicate fruits. Now I can say that I have achieved a small achievement. I really don't know how they will think of me after I arrive at school. When they grow up looking like this, they will definitely slap them in the face. Maelstrom Chinhao said with a smile looking at the scenery in the village. In the past, Maelstrom Chinhao was bullied by people every day. At that time, he knew nothing, and even the most basic shadow clone art could not tell a useful shadow clone. It's different now, no matter what kind of ninjutsu, Uzumaki Chinhao can learn it, it's just a matter of time. In any case, it was not easy for Maelstrom Chinhao to get to this point. It must be said that Maelstrom Chinhao still has a little talent, otherwise he could not learn ninjutsu so fast. But even so, there are still a lot of people in Konoha village who are geniuses. They have been known as geniuses since childhood. Whether it is Uchiha Itachi or Uchiha Sasuke, they have excellent results since childhood. I have to say that these children are still very scary, and it is really not an exaggeration to call them the devil. The current Maelstrom Chinhao not only has a little talent, but also has a system. Currently, Uzumaki has the system in Konoha village alone, so Uzumaki Chinhao is a person with a plug-in. Unknowingly, it has been so long today, and I really can't feel it. Maelstrom Chinhao looked at the sun in the sky, and then said with a smile. Today is considered to be a whole day of cultivating, so let's go home a little earlier for dinner. Maybe you can still eat the food made by Aunt Nine Zane when you get home at noon. Maelstrom Chinhao said with a smile while looking at the village. Don't talk too much nonsense, let's go home quickly. After speaking, Uzumaki Chinhao jumped directly from the Hokage rock. This morning, Maelstrom Chinhao had learned the techniques of treading water and shadow clone, and yesterday he gained the ability to replicate fruits. I have to say that Maelstrom Chinhao has had very good luck over the past few days. I have time to rest for the last afternoon. I have to report to school tomorrow morning. I really don't know what's good about the school. I feel that after the system is in place, I really don't need to go to school to study, but I can't. It is really too much trouble for others to misunderstand. Whirlpool Chinhao thought quietly while walking on the street. Just like what Maori Chinhao said just now, if he doesn't go to school now and applies for early graduation, it's really a big joke. After all, it turns out that his strength is very weak, and everyone doesn't believe him. Great power. Forget it, even if I don't want to go to school, Uncle Watergate and Aunt Juzine will not agree. I'll go to school here honestly. When Uzumaki Chinhao thought of Bofeng Watergate and Uzumaki Juxina, he shook his head very helplessly, and continued to walk forward. I will be able to shine after I arrive at school tomorrow. I must let those who bullied me in the past have a good look. How strong I am. I will definitely bully you in the future, and it is time to change the dynasty. Know your world is here. Whirlpool Chinhao thought in his heart as he walked forward. Chapter 50, I'm not coming back for dinner. Forget it, it's not the time to think about these things. I will show them some color when I arrive at school tomorrow. Maelstrom Chinhao walked slowly on the street and said with a smile. At this moment, Maelstrom Chinhao quickened his pace and hurried towards home. Xiao Hao, you are back, hurry up and eat. Are you going to start school tomorrow? I made something delicious for you today. After seeing Uzumaki Chinhao walk into the house, said to him with a smile. After hearing what his aunt had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao nodded with a smile, and then walked into the room. Aunt Juxina, where's Uncle Watergate, why isn't he at home? After seeing that there is no Bofeng Watergate in the room, Uzumaki Chinhao turned his head to Uzumaki Kushina and said with a smile. Uncle Watergate has some important things to take care of in the village, so he went to the Hokage office building. He won't eat at home at noon today, and asked him to bring a little lunch when he left. After hearing what Maori Chinhao had just said, he said with a smile. Uzumaki Chinhao nodded with a smile after hearing what Uzumaki Kushina had just said, and then helped Uzumaki Kushina with food to the living room. Wow, it smells so good, Aunt Juzine. No matter what you cook, it will be very delicious. I am really envious of Uncle Watergate being able to marry a wife like you. Uzumaki Chinhao brought all the food. After sitting on the table, he said to Uzumaki Kushina with a smile. Uzumaki Kushina nodded with a smile after hearing what Uzumaki Chinhao had just said, and then said, Xiao Hao, your mouth is really getting sweeter, don't worry. You will definitely marry a better wife than me in the future, and you must treat others well then. Oh, Aunt Kushina. I'm still young. It's not the time to consider these things. Let's eat quickly. I can't wait to try these delicious meals. Uzumaki Chinhao had already brought the tableware and came to the table, and then said to Uzumaki Kushina with a smile. At this moment, Uzumaki Kushina sat down, picked up the cutlery, and began to eat the food on the table. Wow, it's really delicious, I really like wine very much, and now my aunt is cooking. Whirlpool Chinhao said with a smile while eating. Okay, eat quickly, eat more if it is delicious, don't you have to go to school tomorrow? Did you prepare something? Uzumaki Kushina said with a smile to Uzumaki Chinhao. Soon the two of them ate all the food on the table. No, to be precise, Uzumaki Chinhao ate all the food by himself. Uzumaki Kushina almost ate a little. At this time, Uzumaki Chinhao took the initiative to move all the tableware on the dining table to the kitchen and washed them all. He didn't let Uzumaki Kushina do it at all, because he knew Uzumaki Kushina was a pregnant woman and it was not convenient to exercise. It's so full, now I have to take a good rest for the afternoon, and I will go to school tomorrow. After the Whirlpool Chinhao finished everything, he sat on the sofa and said with a smile. Chapter 51, A New Day. Xiao Hao, you can rest in the living room now. If you are sleepy, go to the bedroom to sleep for a while. I will go to my room to rest. I will have a celebrity in a few days. I must keep my spirits up these days. Uzumaki Juxina said with a smile to Uzumaki Chinhao. When Uzumaki Chinhao heard what Uzumaki Kushina just said, he nodded with a smile, then Uzumaki Kushina walked into the room and closed the door. Now I don't have to worry about my strength. Anyway, I am about to reach the Central Plains, and now I have so many skills, there should be no problem with the school kids. Maelstrom Chinhao sat on the sofa and stared in a daze. Think. Just like what Uzumaki Chinhao said, his current strength is easy to deal with the little ghosts in the school, and he now has the ability to replicate ninjutsu, making it easier to defeat others. So this afternoon, the Whirlpool Chinhao did not plan to train, but took a good rest at home, went to bed early in the evening, raised a good spirit, and went to school tomorrow to play B. It's really boring, let's go back to the room and read comics for a while. Anyway, there is nothing to do now, and I don't practice much in the afternoon. Let's go back to the room and take a good rest. He said that he stood up. Then went to the bedroom and started reading comics. In this way, the time of the afternoon slowly passed by while Maelstrom Chinhao was reading the comics. Damn, no, I unknowingly read the comics for such a long time, now I feel a little sore in my eyes, let's go to sleep, it's almost 8 o'clock now, go to bed early, and go to school tomorrow. After seeing that the outside of the window was completely dark, Maelstrom Chinhao whispered to his face with a smile. At this time Uzumaki Chinhao walked out of the room and went to the bathroom to start washing. After he came out, he saw Uzumaki Kushina's room was still closed, presumably Uzumaki Kushina was still sleeping. Well, in that case, then I should go to bed too. Time is not waiting for anyone. I'd better hurry up to sleep. Take a good night's sleep, and I will go to school tomorrow energetically to those who have bullied me. A little bit of color quietly. Whirlpool Chinhao had already returned to his room while speaking, and was lying on the bed. Only 2 or 3 minutes passed before the Whirlpool Chinhao had already entered his dreamland. I have to say that he was sleeping really fast. At this time, the people who need to go to school tomorrow are already asleep, and only a few people are still studying hard. I have to say that these schoolmasters really waste their sleep time. The next morning, in the afternoon of a new day, Wuxi Chinhao got up early. At this time, he immediately went to wash, and then tidied up his appearance. Today is a sunny day. It seems that today is very suitable to teach those bastards. It is great. Today I can finally show off my ambition. Maelstrom Chinhao saw the sunshine outside after walking out of the room. Bright weather, and then whispered with a smile. Just now, Uzumaki Chinhao had already prepared the breakfast, and prepared a breakfast for Uzumaki Juxina and Bo Feng Shuman, and then he walked out of the house with a breakfast. Chapter 52, How Can You Not Be Jealous? Whirlpool Chinhao got up very early today, and there were no people on the street. Only a few breakfast spots are open, the boss inside the door is busy, and it is still very quiet, the air is very fresh, not as noisy as usual. In the original world, every morning when I went to self-study in the morning, there were always so many people crowded on the road, and at that time it was also the peak time for work. Both adults and children were walking on the road, unlike Konoha. The village here is so quiet every morning, giving people a happy feeling. Whirlpool Chinhao walked on the street, watching the characters on both sides, while thinking silently in his heart. Just like what Uzumaki Chinhao just said, in the original world, there are many people going to work and school every morning. At that time, the air pollution was very serious, but it was not as laid back as Konoha village. So refreshing. However, at this moment, behind the Whirlpool Chinhao suddenly remembered a sweet voice. How, morning. After hearing someone calling himself from behind, Maelstrom Chinhao turned his head and looked behind. At this moment he found a very beautiful girl, yes, that girl is her childhood sweetheart, Chun Muzi. Muzi, I didn't expect it, why did you get up so early? After seeing Chun Muzi, the whirlpool Chinhao stopped and said to her with a smile. Does this need to be said? Because today is the beginning of school, I got up early, and I went to bed very early last night. Today must be a beautiful day, and I am still waiting for you to shine. Chun, after hearing what Wuxi Chinhao had just said, Muzi said to him with a smile on his face. Yeah, don't you say, I forgot to go, let's go together, anyway, it is very boring to walk by myself, and now the street is so quiet, it is really rare for me. Maelstrom Chinhao finished listening to the spring after what Muzi had just said, he smiled and said to him. I thought that Uzumaki Chinhao and Chun Muzi had already got up very early, but I didn't expect that there were already many people in the ninja school. Unexpectedly, how come there are so many people today, and they are all new faces? Are these all new students? After seeing a lot of people gathered in his school, Makoto Chinhao turned his head to Chun Muzi very puzzled. Said with a smile. Chun Muzi nodded with a smile after hearing what Mao Chinhao had just said, and then said to him, Yes, I didn't expect your memory to be so bad. Today is when our school is enrolling new students. That's why so many people come. After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao smiled and scratched his head in embarrassment. Look, that girl is so beautiful, really like a goddess. Yeah, it's so beautiful, why haven't I found it before? But, who is the person next to the goddess? It's horrible, not as handsome as me. After hearing the person next to him, Maelstrom Chinhao turned his head and smiled and said, Haha, I didn't expect your looks to be so lovely. Haha. I hate you so much, haha. So many people say me, aren't you jealous? Chun Muzi turned his head and said with a smile after hearing what Mao Chinhao had just said. Jealous, haha, how can you not be jealous? Of course you are so good looking and I like you too, and so many people have become my rivals now, how can you not be jealous? Maori Chinhao turned his head at this moment. Next to him, he said with a smile, and walked into the classroom as quickly as possible. Chapter 53, Full Hatred. Chun Muzi blushed after hearing what Mao Chinhao had just said. She didn't expect this answer, and then she blushed and walked slowly into the classroom. The two of them all entered the classroom and sat next to each other. It was precisely because the whirlpool Chinhao and Chun Muzi were sitting together, which made many boys feel angry. The goddess in their hearts actually sat with a crane on the back. It's really impossible not to be angry. Oh, what happened today? How can I live in the future? I recruited so many enemies and attracted so much hatred today. After feeling the eyes from all directions, Mason Chinhao turned to the side with a smile. Said Chun Muzi. Chun Muzi smiled after hearing what Mao Chinhao had just said, It's okay, I don't like so many people, don't worry. And I won't care about these. After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao subconsciously turned his head and saw Chun Muzi's face. Damn, what kind of fairy face is this, no wonder so many people like Muzi. After seeing Chun Muzi's face, Wuxi Chinhao thought to himself. Ding, the host successfully raised the hatred, and posted that today, let others see your strength and prove yourself. Ding, think that completion will reward 1000 gold coins and orange weapons. After hearing what the system had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao said he was very helpless. He had no idea that the system would release the task at this time and it was really timely. The system is really timely for you. I didn't expect to release tasks for me at this time. It's really very possible, but it's good. I'm planning to show my strength today. Let those who have bullied me take a good look, and give those who like Muzi a little bit of color. Like me, Chinhao whispered at this time. Chun Muzi turned her head and patted him on the shoulder when she heard Maelstrom Chinhao talking to himself, and then said to him, How, what are you talking to yourself there? After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Maelstrom Chinhao turned his head and said with a smile on her face, I didn't say anything, I just think you are very cute, and very beautiful. I really want to. I keep staring at you like this. After Maelstrom Chenhao finished speaking, Chun Musa didn't know what to say or what to do. Chun Musa's face blushed right after hearing what the Whirlpool Chenhao said. This is good. Chun Musa turned his head directly, and then the deer bumped in his heart. How, you guy is so annoying, I don't know what to say now, am I really that good looking? Chun Musa didn't turn his head to look at Maelstrom Chenhao when he spoke. She didn't dare to look at Maelstrom Chenhao's face now, even one glance would make her deer bump into her, and she couldn't calm down for a long time. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao said with a smile, of course, I don't have to lie to you for this kind of thing. Besides, I really like you very much, and you look good. Very cute, you are the person I will protect my life. Chun Musa's face turned redder after hearing what Wuxi Chenhao had just said. Chapter 54, Start Test. Who let you protect? Chun Musa said in a low voice while smiling. She is now completely exasperated and her mood has never been calmed down. With this, Maelstrom Chenhao didn't know what to do with Chun Musa, and had to say that the two of them were talking to each other like this, and they were really very happy. Okay, the teacher is here, let's not say these things for now, and we will talk to you slowly when we have a chance. After seeing Sarutobi Asma walking into the classroom, Uzumaki Chenhao was right. She said with a smile. Chun Musa calmed down after hearing what Mao Chenhao had just said, and turned her head to see Asma Sarutobi who had entered the classroom. Okay, everyone is quiet, and then we start to class. After these few days off, have you studied hard at home? Have you practiced ninjutsu? Let's test your abilities in this class today. Sarutobi Asma said loudly to the students after standing in front of the classroom desk. No, I have to test on the first day of school. Teacher, it's not necessary. Anyway, the last one must be the tail of the crane. Just keep me quiet. I said there is so much nonsense for the test. You guys hurry up and gather at the training ground number 1. The others will walk with me for 30 minutes. They must gather at night. After hearing what the disobedient children said, he said angrily to them. Okay, don't lie on the table, let's go, if you are late, you will be in trouble. At this moment, I patted Chun Musa's arm behind me, and then faced her. Said with a smile. At this moment, several of them saw the actions of Wuxi Chenhao just now, and then said angrily, damn it, don't let me be separated with that kid for a while. If I were to be separated with him, I would definitely. What makes him look good is to treat our goddess like this. Chun Musa slowly stood up after hearing what the Whirlpool Chenhao had just said, and then walked to the number 1 training field with Whirlpool Chenhao. I have to say that the training venue number 1 is really big. Field 1 is very large, not indoors, but a large open space. There is a separate locker room, and there are many targets scattered on the trees. Oh, I didn't expect that there were so many more targets without coming to school these days, and they were all fixed on those trees. Some of the handles were facing us, some were not facing us at all, and there were behind the tree, it is impossible to see it. Maelstrom Chenhao found the extra target on the tree as soon as he arrived at the training ground. It is very difficult to hit the handle that has no angle. It is very difficult, and you must be proficient in throwing. Okay, since we are here, let me talk about the first test item today. I have a bitter hand, and all kinds of evidence can be used. There are 10 targets and 10 weapons in total. Count the number of rings hit on the target, and the final number of rings is your final score. No, are you making a mistake? How could it be possible to hit it at such a distance? Didn't I say 10? Why I only saw 8, where are the other 2? Sarutobi Asma became angry again after hearing the loud noises of other people, and then said loudly, if you make such noise again, the score of the loudest person will directly be 0. The 8 targets you saw, they are all normal targets, and there are 2 targets on the back. If you want to hit, it's very difficult. Everyone, after hearing what Asma Saratobi just said, you dare not say it anymore. They don't want their score to become 0. But at this moment they were worried again. There were 2 targets behind the scenes, and they were completely impossible to hit. Chapter 55, 89 points, not bad. No, how could this be hit? Even if all the 8 targets were hit, this would only be about 80 points. It is impossible for the latter 2 targets to hit. Chun Musa was hearing Sarafi Iaci. After Ma just said something, she turned her head and frowned slightly. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao stretched out his fingers, combed Chun Musa's brows to both sides, so that she no longer frowned, and then smiled at her and said, "From now on can't frown anymore, the little girl can't show signs of frowning. Don't worry, you can still do it at this level of difficulty. At least 90 points or more is not a problem. I don't have to worry about it. I will show you how my strength is in a while, and it will definitely make you open eyes. Remember, you can't frown in the future." Maelstrom Chenhao said to Chun Musa with a smile. Everything that Maelstrom Chenhao had just done immediately made Chun Musa flushed and lowered his head. Oh my god, what's wrong with my heart? How come I keep speeding up? Oh, I'm so ashamed. Chun Musa thought silently after lowering his head. At this moment, Yulong Mountain View went through the crowd and came to the front, and then said to Asma Saratobi, "Teacher, I want to try it first." Saratobi Asma nodded with a smile when he heard what Jing Yulong had just said, and then walked to the side with the notebook. "Oh, I didn't expect it, the kid Shan Jing Yulong turned out to be the first one, and it was really beyond my expectation. Next, let me see how many points you can get." Maelstrom Chenhao, after hearing what Shan Jing Yulong just said, he said with a smile. Jing Yulong stood in the prescribed area and observed the targets in front, then took out 10 shurikens from the ninja bag. "Today, let everyone take a look at my strength and see who is the strongest." Jing Yulong thought to himself after being prepared. Swish! Swish! In just 2 or 3 seconds, Shan Jing Yulong threw 3 shurikens. It has to be said that the speed at which Shan Jing Yulong throws his shurikens is really very fast. In just 1 minute, he threw all the 10 shurikens in his hand. Yes, the speed can be. Saratobi Asma stood by and watched the Mountain View Yulong, and then whispered with a smile. At this moment, Saratobi Asma walked to the side of the tree, observed the shuriken on the target, and summed up a result. Yes, not bad, 7 shurikens hit the 10-ring red heart, 1 in the hand hit the 9-ring. 1 10-ring behind the tree, 1 missed. The total score of the mountain and the dragon was 89 points. Saratobi Asma summed up all the boards on the tree, and then said loudly to Shanjing Yulong. "Damn it, no, 89 points are so high, and there is a 10-ring behind the number, which is really amazing. It seems that the first place this time is definitely the first floor of the mountain view. We can only be behind him. Very well, who will play next? Let's call them one by one, and whoever clicks will come out to test." Saratobi Asma said loudly while looking at the report card in her hand. Kimmy. Lego. Chapter 56, the show started. Unexpectedly, these people have not been idle at home for the past few days during the holiday. They have all training. I can't see that these boys care about their performance very much. I have to say that the first place must be Mitsui Ichiryu. Saratobi Asma looked at this and thought silently in the hearts of the students who were testing. In fact, in this class, Yulong Mountain View is still the best learner. Of course, the one who learned the most dishes before is the Whirlpool Chenhao, but now, except for Yulong Mountain View and Chun Muzi, no one knows that Wuxi Chenhao what is house strength. How, it's time for me to play. You should take a break here first, it will be you after I finish the test, get ready. Chun Musa turned his head to Maelstrom Chenhao with a smile before the test said. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded with a smile, and then Chun Musa walked straight to the test site, and then took out 10 swords. In fact, most of the people here would choose to use shurikens, because shurikens are relatively small and very light, much better than kunao. Chun Muzi, with a total score of 88, the current ranking is number 2, and then Maelstrom Jinhao will come out to test. Asma Sarutobi immediately asked Maelstrom Jinhao to finish Chun Muzi's results. Test it out. Look, the end of the Wanyan crane has come out, I bet his grades must be under 50 points. How is 50 points possible? I bet he can't even reach 20 points. I bet a meal. When Maelstrom Jinhao heard other people talking about himself, he ignored them, because they were simply ignorant people who didn't know what his strength was, and he didn't have the time to care about them. At present, the first place is Mountain View Yulong with 89 points. It's not very high. Let's open your eyes to see what is the longest person. Maelstrom Jinhao came to the designated position. After that, he said quietly with a smile. After talking about the whirlpool, Chen Hao took out 10 kunao from his ninja bag. This is still from the beginning to the end of the test. The first person uses kunao. Damn, you won't be crazy right now. It's really fatal to use kunao to test it. Well, there is no more suspense this time, he can't even reach 10 points now. All the people present were not optimistic about the whirlpool Chen Hao, only Chun Muzi was there with his hands alone. When did he look forward to the next performance of the whirlpool Chen Hao? Come on, Hao, it will definitely be possible. Chun Muzi looked at the back of Wuxi Chen Hao, and then thought to herself silently. Compared with shurikens, Uzumaki Chen Hao prefers to use bitterness. It can cause direct damage to the enemy in terms of appearance and weight. But unlike shurikens, it is not very light, and it is not enough for Uzumaki Chen Hao to play with. Okay, my performance has begun. Maelstrom Chen Hao immediately separated the 10 kunao in his hand, and instantly threw 8 kunao to the front. Suddenly, Wuxi Chen Hao used his greatest strength to throw the 2 kiwawu in his hands forward. In the end, these 2 kunao were very fast and powerful, and they soon caught up with the previous 8 kunao. The 10 kunao collided together in the air, and made a ping-pong-pong sound, and then immediately spread out and flew in different directions. Chapter 57, 100 points. Ha ha ha, it seems that I didn't guess wrong. Maelstrom Chen Hao must not get points this time. His kunao is all messed up in the air. How can he score? Yet, it seems that we all overestimated him. We didn't expect him to be even behind the tail of the crane. This is great. He must be the last one in our class. Maelstrom Chen Hao didn't even look at it after throwing out the 10 kiwo in his hand, and turned back to the rest area. Hao, what's the matter with you? How can you throw away all the 10 kunao in a good manner? Obviously, you can get a little bit. Chun Muzi immediately came to the whirlpool Chen Hao's side, and said to him, Okay, you can rest assured, I have a sense of measure, you will know what is going on when you look at my grades. After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Makoto Chen Hao turned his head. Comforted her. At this time, Sarutobi Asma actually didn't want to see Uzumaki Chen Hao's results, but because she couldn't make it through, she had to bite the bullet and take a look. He also didn't want to look at the 2 targets behind the tree, because he believed that Maelstrom Chen Hao couldn't shoot at all, and the operation just now completely convinced him that Majestic Majesty had no results. Sarutobi Asma looked at the kunao on the target and was dumbfounded. He stammered and counted his scores, then walked back slowly. Welcome Chen Hao's score is, out of 100 points, all 10 rings. After hearing what Sarutobi Asma had just said, all the people present who were laughing at Maelstrom Chen Hao were silent, and even Chun Muzi was stunned. How is it possible? It's impossible. After hearing the results reported by Asma Sarutobi, Jing Yulong felt that this was too unrealistic, and then ran to the target immediately, looking on the target. Suffering, then his eyes slowly dimmed. At this moment, other students who didn't believe also ran to the target and looked at the kunao on the target. At this moment, they didn't say anything, they just watched the Kyowa who hit the 10 rings. Unexpectedly, you kid actually hid your strength with me. This time you got the first full score, which directly caused a sensation in the whole school. You have really become a man in our school, from the tail of the crane. The first place in the test, I really didn't expect. Chun Musa said to the whirlpool Chenhao next to him with a smile at this time. At this time, those who looked down on Maelstrom Chenhao had an unspeakable feeling in their hearts. They had no idea that this Wanyan crane's tail would suddenly turn over and become the first place. This is something they really couldn't think of. But now, they have suddenly become fans of Uzumaki Chenhao. Even the person who used to bully Maelstrom Chenhao, now in the hometown, Chenhao does not dare to speak loudly anymore. He is also respectful to him. He dare not provoke him. Even if he makes a little mistake, Chenhao is afraid of him. They gave a violent beating. Ding! The host has completed the task and the reward has been issued, please check in time. Okay, now you don't envy me anymore. Your grades are not very good. Then I will supervise you. After training, you can't let you continue like this, although your other physical abilities are very good. Okay, but you really can't compare with me if you throw this piece of ninja. At this time, Mason Chenhao patted Chun Musi on the shoulder, and then said with a smile on her face. Chapter 58, Time to Flatter. Well, it's rare that you are so good once, I will listen to you once, and then you must also train well, but it is impossible to be like those exaggerated persimmons, you will not train after a little improvement. Chun Musi was in a very happy mood now, she had never expected that Maelstrom Chenhao would suddenly become number 1, which really surprised her. After undergoing this ninja throwing test, Maelstrom Chenhao successfully demonstrated his amazing talent and strength, and once again refreshed his classmates' worldview. In this way Maelstrom Chenhao became the first in their class and became the school's leader. Character. Maelstrom Chenhao's talent is indeed very high. After more than a year of hard training, and now that he has a system, his strength is gradually increasing. When training ninjutsu, Maelstrom Chenhao didn't forget to practice ninja throwing, otherwise Maelstrom Chenhao wouldn't be so skillful and accurate in ninja throwing. Wow, Maelstrom Chenhao, we really looked at you with admiration. We didn't expect you to be so powerful, but you have been hiding your strength. Yet, Chenhao, I have become a fan of you now, can you sign me a name? You are too powerful, too powerful. When Maelstrom Chenhao just returned to the classroom, he was blocked by several girls and kept asking him. He seemed to have become a fan of him. I have to say that these flatterers are really amazing. I can say anything. Oh, now you know to respect me, what did you do earlier? To be honest, you snobs are really too strong, it turns out that I am weak, you don't even look at me, now I am strong just come here to give me a flattering, it's really shameless. After hearing what the girls around him had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao turned his head and satirized them. Just after Maelstrom Chenhao finished speaking, the girls around him couldn't speak. They understood what Maelstrom Chenhao meant. This was good. They turned their heads and wanted to walk away. At this moment, Mason Chenhao didn't want them to stay, because he only needed Chun Musi. Unexpectedly, the news spread so quickly that you just became number 1 and so many girls came to you, why don't you say a few more words to them? Chun Musi saw those girls all leave after opening, he turned his head and said to the whirlpool Chenhao with a smile. After hearing what Chun Musi had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao stretched out his index finger, stroked Chun Musi's nose, and then said with a smile to her, "Silly girl, I have you now. That's enough. I have to talk nonsense to them. Besides, they are all snobs, and there is nothing to talk about with them." Chun Musi's face flushed again after hearing what Wuxi Chenhao had just said. She didn't expect that Wuxi Chenhao would say such a thing. I hate it. Chun Musi blushed and lowered his head. Looks very shy. After this time, Chun Musa became a small fan of Uzumaki Chenhao. I have to say that the fate of the two of them is really so wonderful. Chapter 59, I Hate You So Much. After talking for a while, they started class again, this time in the class. Chun Musa listened carefully to what the teacher said in front of him, but he didn't mean to listen to the lecture. He just turned his head and looked at the scenery outside the window with a smile. The life in the previous life is not as hard as it is now. I really miss that life in the past, to be honest, but there is one thing that is not good. Now I have a very beautiful girl with me, so I am content. The whirlpool Chenhao looked at the scenery outside the window, and then thought to himself with a smile on his face. Indeed, just like what Maori Chenhao had just thought, he was not popular in his previous life, and he always came and went all alone. Japan has no friends, let alone the opposite sex. Now this life is still very perfect. After all, there is a very beautiful girl around him and happy with him every day. This is very good. After all, every man has a very loving girl in his heart. How, why don't you listen carefully? Do you hate studying so much? Chun Musa gently touched his arm when he saw Makoto Chenhao staring out the window in a daze, and then whispered to him. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded with a smile, and then said to her, "Yes, I really don't like to study. I think that going to school is a waste of my time. And I also hate studying very much, but it's okay now, because I have you with me, so I still prefer to come to school to listen to classes." When Chun Musa heard what Wuxi Chenhao had just said, she whispered to Wuxi Chenhao, "You really hate you, and I really hate you. But what I want to tell you now is that I must study well in the future, otherwise I won't play with you, and I admit that your talent is higher than mine, but I still want you to be well study, otherwise the gap between the two of us will get bigger and bigger, and then you won't be able to keep up with me." Chun Musa finally moved her head to the side of Maelstrom Chenhao, then whispered to him. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao nodded to her with a smile, and then said, Okay, I know, I have to study hard for you." Chun Musa smiled and nodded very satisfied after hearing what Maor Chenhao had just said. "Okay, let's get out of class." After the two of them had just finished speaking, the class was over, and then the two of them relaxed. "Musi, Chenhao. Do you want us to go out for a meal tonight? Celebrate the 10,000 years of the crane tail in our class and be ranked first." At this moment, a very beautiful little girl walked up to the two of them and said to them with a smile. "Yaya, who are you going with us? Not just the three of us." Chun Musa raised his head and said with a smile after hearing what the girl had just said. The girl who just spoke was Chun Musa's best friend, Mikiya. I have to say that this woman is also very cute and beautiful. Chapter 60, Beautiful as Godness. How could it be the three of us, Hanako, and Hanako Hyuga? Mikiya said to them with a smile. Hyuga Hanako is also a friend of the two of them, and also their best friend. The three of them have the best relationship. No, I went out with the three girls, and they were all very beautiful. How can this be? How much hatred can I get after I go out? Maori Chenhao suddenly heard the three girls going. Said very embarrassingly. "You kid, it's really flooded with peach blossoms. You are not happy with the three of us girls going out with you. It seems that you are destined to be a single dog in this life." Mikiya heard what Maor Chenhao just said. Then he frowned and said with a smile. Okay, how, just go with us. Besides, did we decide to go to celebrate for you? And if the three of us accompany you, you will have a lot of face, even if you are for me you too, okay? Chun Musa said with a smile to Maelstrom Chenhao at this moment. After hearing what Chun Musa had just said, Uzumaki Chenhao paused for a few seconds, then turned his head and looked at Mikiya and Hyuga Hanako, then nodded with a smile. "Well, since Musa has said so, then I will accompany the three of you girls. At that time, it seems that you will have a lot of hatred. After all, the three of you are beautiful gods. Maelstrom Chenhao said with a smile at this moment. Great, you guys talk slowly first, I'll talk to Hanako. Remember, we will meet at the school gate tomorrow noon. Mikiya finished speaking very happily and walked away. Up. After seeing Masayaya walk away, Maelstrom Chenhao turned his head and said with a smile to Chun Muzi, I will not eat tomorrow morning. Anyway, I will have a big meal at noon, and I will still be with three beautiful girls. I am really lucky. But walking with the three of you will still attract a lot of hatred. After all, you three look very cute and beautiful. What's the matter? Do you think the three of us are pretty? Are the three of us as pretty in your heart? Chun Muzi said with a smile after hearing what Mao Chenhao had just said. Feeling jealous. After hearing what Chun Muzi had just said, Maelstrom Chenhao was stunned for a while, and then he hurriedly said with a smile, how is it possible? To be honest, you are much more beautiful than the two of them, and I am very like it. You don't like both of them, so you can rest assured. Chun Muzi was obviously very satisfied after hearing the answer from Maelstrom Chenhao just now, but he didn't laugh, and insisted that he couldn't make Maelstrom Chenhao feel such an unreserved girl. Ding! The host succeeded in making Chun Muzi happy, with the charm value of +1. Ding! The host has received 3 beauties, with the charm value of +3. After hearing what the system had just said in his mind, Maelstrom Chenhao thought with a smile on his face, I didn't expect that my charm is so great now, I really can't see it, and it feels like it's like walking in the harem. It seems that my journey to the harem is about to begin. How, what are you giggling about there? Is there anything funny? Chun Muzi patted his arm when he saw Wuxi Chenhao giggling and said to him. It's nothing, I just think of going out to eat with you tomorrow, so I feel very happy. Maelstrom Chenhao said with a smile to Chun Muzi when he recovered. Chun Muzi blushed again after hearing the words that Wuxi Chenhao had just said. I have to say that Chun Muzi is really shy and loves blushing very much.